You can smell it, you can feel it, and now you can see it. What a beautiful day for football here in Southern California, nestled in 35 miles east of Los Angeles here in the city of Laverne. We got a good one in store for you today. I am Hal Hargrave alongside Christopher Livingston in the booth on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. For those of you tuning in San Dimas, K-West, we got one in store for you. The University of Laverne Leopards football team, between that of the Chapman Panthers football team. We're set for kickoff here in Ortmeyer Stadium. What a beautiful day we have in store. Temperatures in the low 80s here at kickoff, a 1 o'clock kickoff at that. Plenty of college football on hand today, but we're glad that you guys are in the booth with us. Chris, what a day we have to look forward to. Laverne on their home field, coming off a bye week, an unexpected one at that. Occidental foregoing the rest of their season for Chapman, a different animal for Laverne today.
That's a shame to hear what happened to Occidental, but Laverne, they have a huge matchup today. This Chapman team is no joke. This team can put points on the board. They can beat you in so many different ways, but this game is going to be fun to watch regardless.
Daniel Maharo for the kickoff for the Leopards. Chapman opting to receive here on the kickoff, and we're underway in Ortmeyer Stadium. Fielded back on the 5-yard line and brought out by Chapman in good special teams coverage for the Leopards, holding them back inside the 20, and that's how things will roll. The Leopards will go to D, and coming out on offense, Chris, there's a good one at the helm. Ricky Batista for Chapman today.
Ricky Batista, this kid's got quite an arm. He can beat you with his legs. He can beat you in the air. He is currently passing with averaging 290.4 yards per game, second in SCIAC, 1,452 yards total. He can air it out.
He can air it out. And this Chapman team, they can play with the best of them on offense, averaging 467 yards a game. They're going to go a pro-style formation to start here. They go double tight end and an out route here, thrown to the receiver, and a quick first down for Chapman. They move the chains.
That's one of the big keys for Chapman. They like to run play action. They like to base everything off the run. So if they sink in that Laverne defense, they can beat you in so many different ways. They like to use a lot of trickery as well.
And wouldn't you know it, one of the top receivers in SCIAC, that's Jacob Isabel. That's the favorite target for that of Batista with the first catch of the game. A first down for Chapman. They're on the move. Trips out to the right. Shotgun formation. They throw the bubble screen out to the receiver. Good stock blocks down the field, and the catch by David Carter.
Nice little screen pass there. Didn't gain too much, but any amount of positive yardage helps.
You know that on first down, Chris, it really changes how you call your plays come later in the series. You pick away and trying to get into third and short. For Bob Owens and his team, that's what they're going to try to do today. Batista back in the gun, trips out to the left. Running back offset to his left. He rolls out to the left. Big hit coming up and rolling up with the hit. It's Arthur Romero for the Leopards.
That was another little quick curl play by Chapman, and Laverne was able to sniff it out right away. Big hit to end the play.
Darren Hooks, one of the other cornerbacks for the Leopards, but namely on this side of the field, what you're seeing down here, number 28, it's Torrey Hilbert rather with the big stick. It was Hilbert and Hooks who really are the big playmakers on this team, but they're going to be without Anthony Olivas today, a big loss for the Leopards. You're going to have to see big cornerback player out of Hilbert and Hooks today show the Leopards want to win. Third and short for the Leopards. Dropping back on the pass. Big completion again. Fumble, but it looks like it rolls out of bounds. Chapman will retain possession after they pick up the good first down, and it's Batista again with the strike.
Chapman got away with one there with that fumble rolling out of bounds. Turnovers will be a big key. If Laverne can make as many turnovers as possible against Chapman, it really shifts the momentum.
You see the reliance that Batista can have on his receivers yet to run a running play here on their first drive. And again, dropping back to pass. Good coverage downfield by the receiver on the stock block. And again, picking up a big 8-yard chunk on first down. Chapman moving the chains through the air.
Looking like Chapman's gonna exercise that short pass game to start off, try and tire out Laverne before trying to go over the top or try and pound it down the middle with their run game.
This Chapman team comes in 3-0 in conference play. They come in 3-2 overall, and it's been on the road where some of their most closest games have been played. We'll speak to that after this play. Again, another bubble screen out to the right flank. Big tackle looking like it's going to come up maybe a half-yard short. They're going to signal first down, as a matter of fact.
Another quick bubble screen right there. Got enough for the first down. Laverne's going to have to watch those. Watch these backs sneaking out the back.
Chapman on the road at Trinity this year, dropping a heartbreaker 41-35. And it was on the road at Pomona-Pitzer a couple weeks ago where it was the final play of the game where they ended up going on to win. So this Chapman team, kind of a mystery on the road, might be a place where Laverne can capitalize on their home field today. Torrey Hilbert coming up, making the stick, but after a little dump off on a check down there, it was a rollout to the right, throwing back to the left. Batista, again, he's perfect on this first drive.
He's just exercising that short pass game, trying to gain confidence. That was a nice little pass underneath the coverage, and he was able to gain enough for the first down.
See if Laverne opts to go to cover two here, have their cornerbacks come up, cover the flats, and have their safeties cover those deep routes. This cover four scheme not working for them here early on. 4 down linemen for Laverne, rolling out to the right, Batista here. Good coverage downfield for Laverne, another fumble. But again, looking like it's covered up by Chapman, so 2 big breaks for Chapman here on the first drive.
That's another big key for the Laverne defense, to put Batista under pressure, take him out of his comfort zone, and force him to make mistakes like right there where he almost gave away the fumble.
3rd and 3. Let's see what Coach Rodriguez has dialed up for this Laverne defense. They try to come up with a big stop. Ball on the 22. This would be a 39-yard field goal for Chapman. But you're knowing Bob Owen's going to throw something big at you here. If you're sticking with your bread and butter, passing's been working for you on this first drive. Look for play action here out of Batista. They run the ball. First run of the game. It's going to be close to that first down marker. They move the chains. So Bob Owens flipping the script a bit on the defense of Laverne. They go to their first run of the game. They pick up the 3 yards they need. Another 4 downs coming for Chapman.
Joe Moody's a powerful running back, and you just saw right there, plowing right through the defensive line to gain those 3 yards for the first down.
Moody been there, done that, 542 yards on the season, 3 touchdowns. He's averaging a bucko weight on the ground. That's one of the tops in SCIAC here this season. So Moody carrying the load there. First down, play action. Or rather, they do hand it off. They try to run counter back to the weak side. Ball carrier gets stuffed at the line of scrimmage. 2nd and 10 coming up for Chapman.
Put a lot of guys in that line. That should have definitely signaled run to Laverne. Looked like they ran a little read option right there, and Batista decided to hand it off.
New personnel coming in for Chapman now. So they go set off to the right side with their tight end. They got 2 receivers out to the left. A back set behind. Batista try to get the Laverne defense to jump. Audible here. Press coverage on the far side for Laverne. Bubble screen again and running underneath the block this time. A flag thrown deep by the back judge. Be interested to see here. There's possibly a hold maybe on the wide receiver. If not, maybe this is coming up on Laverne.
That was some good running around by Isabel, juking out everyone, plowing through that defense.
Face mask, number 28, defense. Half the distance to goal. Automatic first down.
Torrey Hilbert getting called for the face mask, and that was him trying to come up on the stock block and trying to push off to get over to make the tackle on Isabel. Good job downfield again by these Chapman receivers, really opening up those flats on those short passes. New personnel again checking in. Still under center, it is going to be Ricky Batista for Chapman. Now they're 1st and goal, ball on the 4. Going heavy off to the left side for Chapman.
Watch for a run or for a play action.
They motion the fullback over to the right side. They go to the run, stop short. This looks like it's going to be within the 2. After diving over the pile is the ball carrier.
Tried off to the right, off the tackle, but the defensive line was able to hold up and not let anyone through.
They motioned the fullback. It was number 22, Diana Pachote. 5'8", 225 pounds. Kid's a load. Motioned him from left to right. He led the way for the running back. And it was Joe Moody who carried the pile. They're still going to keep it now on the 4. So 2nd and 4 still. They don't gain a yard. So good job on the Laverne defense. Again, looking like a running formation here. Lead fullback. Play action. They try to fake it to Moody. Good coverage there on the cornerback. It was a rollout going out to the right side on the bootleg. They throw it away. Laverne now 3rd and 4, or rather 3rd and goal, ball on the 4.
That play action didn't fool the defense one bit. They were able to pursue Batista and still force him to make that difficult throw. And fortunately for Laverne, that was an incomplete.
You see what Bob Owens in this offense was trying to dial up there. They go to play action, and they had Isabel off with a one-on-one coverage out there with Darren Hooks. Darren Hooks got the best of him there, locked him up within those first 5 yards, let him free. Good play, ball thrown away. 3rd and goal on the 4, here we go. 2 receivers off to the right. They got the running back in the backfield. Dropping back to pass. Batista, and a drop pass in the end zone. What a heartbreaker. Was a for sure touchdown. Nobody in the vicinity, but a drop pass by Isabel.
Wow.
Now decision time on 4th down.
You don't see that every day. Isabel runs underneath the coverage right there. No one around him, and just bobbles that ball and lets it fall.
Mind you, Jacob Isabel, 106 passing, or rather reception yards per game on the season. He's got 6 touchdowns. He was looking for his 7th. Offense pulled off the field. They're going to opt to kick. It's 4th and goal on the 4-yard line. So the kicker coming in. This is number 30, Lucas Alfonso, with the kick. Off the upright, and it is no good. And for Laverne, a big 3rd down drop and a big 4th down field goal attempt up and no good for Chapman. They come away with 0 points on the drive. Chris, that's a tough break for Bob Owens and the Chapman Panthers.
That is, especially when you get that deep into your opponent's end zone and you don't score any points.
See the replay here. It's up and off the right upright. Tough moment for Bob Owens and his offense, but for Laverne, the ball will now move out and stay right here on the 20-yard line. Laverne will start their drive. It will be Josh Evans in the backfield. Couple of receivers offset to his right. It's Russell Boucher in the slot for Laverne. Evans in the shotgun formation. You're going to see much of that tonight. He doesn't like to go under center. Josh Evans, who suffered much through concussion and among other injuries last season, has been healthy for the better part of this year. He's the focal point of this offense. Quick out route there, just a little hitch for Laverne, picking up short yardage. That's number 19 on the reception, Mason Thomas.
That's a great start for Laverne. Evans dropping back, quick pass to the out route, gaining a good few yards right there. This is going to be huge for Laverne.
Mason Thomas, his 2nd reception on the season, already is doubling his season total on the first offensive play of the game. Some movement pre-snap. It's going to be false start on the Leopards.
False start. Number 80, offense. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
With 34, Robert Fernandez.
That type of penalty kills because that puts you in a harder situation. You were right up there about to get a 1st down. Now you got to start all over again.
Start all over. Leopards will 2nd and 6 for the Leopards. Again, back in shotgun, Josh Evans. He's got 2 receivers to his left on the short side of the field. Fakes the handoff to Fernandez. A diving catch. Looking for the flag. He's going to get it, but what a great sell there. And even a better attempt. There was Nathaniel Sagstumen with the attempted diving catch. I'll tell you what, he looked acrobatic. Didn't come down with it, but a good pass across the middle by Josh Evans.
That was a nice little zip right there, right in between the coverage. The receiver had it, but he needs to complete that catch all the way through. That would have been the big play right there. But this penalty definitely does a lot to help out Laverne.
It was the defender. It was number 7 on the defense. Cesar Delgado gets called for the pass interference call. So by virtue of the penalty, Laverne picking up a 1st down. Evans dropping back to pass. Throwing out to the flats. Picking up a yard, Boucher.
Evans to Russell Belcher.
Great coverage all the way around. Luckily, Evans was able to find his receiver right there near the sideline. It's a couple yards, but it's better than nothing.
It is, and it was a good rollout, but better coverage downfield for Chapman. But Laverne showing you that they're going to do it through the air today. Balanced play calling here early. Still Fernandez in the backfield alongside Evans. Trips off to the left, single receiver to the right. They go handoff here to Fernandez. Fernandez fighting through the first wave of defenders. and getting back to the line of scrimmage. No yards picked up Fernandez and the Leopards, so they're going to go to 3rd and long with 8 to go.
Took it off to the right, but that was great pursuit by the Chapman linebackers to hold them up.
Making the tackle.
So 3rd and 8 here, Josh Evans. Been in the shotgun here in the first drive. For Evans, you're going to look for him to use his feet and try to create space, maybe pull some defenders off a receiver. On the far side of the field, you're going to have trips for the Leopards. Single receiver down here to the lower end of the field. See if Evans tries to move the pocket over to the left side of the field and utilize those 3 receivers. Evans, back to the pass. Looking to the left side. Across the middle there. A big catch for the Leopards. And a first down picked up by number 80 on the reception. Nathaniel Saxton.
You got to give it a lot of credit to the offensive line on that play. They were able to hold off the pass rush, allow Evans to stay back there in the pocket, step up, and make an accurate throw for the first down.
Shows you even with a guy like Josh Evans, who might be run-minded first, this is a guy that can stick in the pocket and give you a dart downfield when need be. You see it there. Evans gonna go run here. Designed QB run, even with 4 receivers off to his left and right. Doesn't get a whole lot of yardage, but he'll pick up 2 for Evans. 2nd and 8 for the Laverne offense.
I like that move because they've been passing so effectively on this drive. That's going to force that Chapman defense to respect that, spread out a little more, and give Evans a chance to run the ball. He didn't gain as many yards that time, but next time could be a different story.
Mind you, Josh Evans just a year ago was on a D3 Player of the Week watch, and he was on a D3 Team of the Week, and he did that week with his legs, over 200 yards rushing. This is a guy that can run with the best of them. Drops back to pass here. He's actually going to hand it off. Fernandez running to his left. Gets through a tackle. Pushed out of bounds, and for Fernandez, at least a 6-yard pickup for Fernandez and close to a first down.
Great run by Fernandez to the left. Had a pretty good stiff arm on one of the defenders, allowed him to gain an extra few yards there.
Good job by Fernandez to use that stiff arm, picks up an extra couple. First down for Laverne, and now down inside the 40-yard line is Laverne. So they're moving the chains. Evans again in the backfield. They got a tight end now offset to the right. Receiver solo off to the right. Another 2 receivers to the left. You got Boucher lined up as a second tight end off to the left. Fake the run. Pass caught by the tight end off in the flats. So he's met at the same time as a defenseman. So it was a linebacker who rolled out in the flats who ultimately made the tackle, but a big catch there in good hands to hold on by the tight end of Laverne. It was number 83, Caleb Johnson.
Great strength by Johnson to rip the ball away from the defender. Almost, it could have gone either way, interception or catch, but he was able to pull it away, and the offense was able to help pound it in.
So we got twins to both sides of the field now. Short side of the field to the right for Josh Evans. He's still got Fernandez in the backfield. Pink socks on for Josh Evans today. Breast Cancer Awareness Month. He's back in the gun. Play action. Going over to the right. Quick hitch route caught by the receiver of the Leopards. And now for the Leopards, still moving the ball. 3:05 left here in the first quarter. The Leopards now with 3rd and short.
Quick little hitch route to the right. Does a little bit. When you run small plays like this, you're going to tire out that Chapman defense, which Laverne could really benefit from.
Over 10 plays here on this opening drive for Laverne. Boucher offset to the right, down on the 3-point stand, acting as a tight end. Flea flicker for Evans. He's going to throw it downfield. He's got Boucher for the touchdown.
What a play.
Saw the defense commit at the line of scrimmage to Fernandez. He tosses it back to Evans on the flea flicker. And a little finesse downfield. It was Boucher who was in the 3-point stance, acting as a tight end. Mind you, this is a punter a year ago, and Russell Boucher receiving a 35-yard pass downfield for the touchdown.
Nice little flea flicker play. Boucher able to make the grab despite double coverage. He was able to find that weak point around the safety to make the grab for the touchdown.
Extra point up and good for the Leopards. Bang, bang, 7 points for the Leopards. Here at the 2:33 mark left in the first quarter, the Leopards take the lead 7-0. You've been listening to LVTV3. Laverne Community Television. For those of you tuning in San Dimas, K-West. Leopards lead here. What'd you see on the opening drive, Chris, that you liked?
Well, what I liked most from Laverne is the fact that they're airing it out. They're using a lot of diversity in their plays. When you stick to one side of when you're one-dimensional, you make it very difficult on yourself. You make yourself predictable. And then on this drive, they were able to mix up the pass and the run effectively, using the pass a little bit more. So it's going to be interesting to see what Laverne's going to do on these following drives and how Chapman's going to react.
A 9-play first drive for Laverne, 63 yards. They score the touchdown, or rather, no, it's 73 yards. They score the touchdown after a couple of penalties for Laverne. Josh Evans, 6 for 6 on the opening drive, 63 yards, a touchdown, getting it done through the air. Laverne here to kick and back to receive for Chapman. Will be Isabel. Isabel running it out, gets past the 25. Big stick for the Leopards, and it will be a 75-yard drive needed to put up a big touchdown points to match the Leopards. The least for Chapman. Good coverage again on special teams for the Leopards.
This is going to be a big drive for Laverne. How's Chapman going to respond after putting up no points there in the red zone?
24-yard return by Isabel.
This is going to be a full-out team effort from both sides of the ball for Laverne.
For Connor Johnson today in the middle of that defense for Laverne. This is a guy who's put up 31 tackles on the season and really a vocal leader on the defensive side of the ball for Laverne. Play action. Batista rolling out to his left, throwing downfield. It's Isabel with the big play. He gets behind Torrey Hilbert, and that is how you throw quick strikes. And just like that, they're able to march down the field a 55-yard pass.
He used that play action to his benefit. He had everyone chasing after him. Batista able to air it out, and a great grab. I thought it was going to be short there for a second to Isabel, but Isabel able to make the grab for a huge gain.
53 yards is how, or rather, 53 yards is how they'll rack him up on the play. Good throw downfield by Batista. It's now 9 of 11, 124 yards on the game after that big strike, and it's been Isabel who's already got 105 yards a game. Can you believe it? Another short pass out to the right side, picking up a few yards on the play. It was number 3 on the reception, Jacob Baker.
Going back to that short pass game, trying to tire out the Laverne defense.
Jacob Isabel, this guy, 105 yards already. He's already met Stevens in average in reception yards. This is a guy who can play among the best of them.
Look for him to be utilized a lot today.
Back in the gun, Batista gonna hand it off.
Joe Moody
Fighting forward for a couple yards, Joe Moody. It's gonna be held short of the first down. So you're gonna be looking at 3rd and 4, or rather 3rd and 3 and a long 3 at that. For Chapman, Bob Owens, what do they do now?
Well, they can play action. They can try and throw it over the top. See, this Chapman offense, they can attack you in so many different ways. It's interesting to see what they throw at you. They may even throw some trickery out there. They've been known to do that.
Trickery, we might see it. Batista back in the gun. He's going to roll out to the left. Quick stride out to the left side. A big stick by Torrey Hilbert. So he came up and made the play on Jacob Isabel. Isabel down, ailing on the ground. What a stick by Hilbert.
Went for the short pass, and that defense able to put the big hit on Isabel, forcing him to drop that ball, not make the grab.
What a play by Torrey Hilbert to come up and make a big stick on the receiver on the quick out route. It was Jacob Isabel who comes up with another catch, mind you.
The injured Panther.
See if they do, in fact, give him a catch on that. Right now, we're still seeing 4th down.
It's going to be 4th and 4.
That was a huge stop by Laverne. Now if they can prevent Chapman from putting more points on the board, that's going to be huge. Especially for a team that's put up 40-plus points in the last 3 games.
Chapman's given up 30 points in the last 2 games. But nonetheless, getting the job done. Chapman putting up 40, that's enough to compliment. Giving up some 30 points on defense, but for Chapman here, it's a big moment. They're going to give Isabel no catch on that after the big stick coming up by Tilbury. So a 4th and short situation, you don't record points on the first drive. Chris, what are you thinking here?
Let's see. Looks like they're going for the 3 points. And that's smart. You don't want to try and risk getting no points on the board, especially if Laverne is playing as effectively as they are right now.
Laverne's defense simply coming up with the big plays when need be.
Lucas Alfonso.
Giving up big plays
in
on
for
the other
field goal.
ones. Right here, going for the 3 points. It will be Lucas Alfonso with the kick. And coming to you here from 33 yards out. Should be a chip shot for Alfonso. Good hold, kick is up. Kick is good for Chapman. They pick up 3 points.
That's big for Chapman, still putting points on the board despite
33-yard field
getting
goal.
this deep into the red zone and not finding the end zone.
So here with 25 seconds left at the end of the first quarter, your score is 7-3 after Chapman goes down, puts up a 3 spot after the field goal from 32 yards out from Alfonso. For Chapman, though, a couple of big drives, they come up with no touchdowns, Chris. Got to give credit to the Laverne defense for coming up big when they need to.
That Laverne secondary, these guys looking like the Legion of Boom from the Seattle Seahawks. It's like someone's using the hit stick in Madden. They're able to pop that ball out on those receivers. Those hits are huge.
Couple of forced fumbles here today for the Laverne defense, coming up with timely sticks when need be, but still some big strikes being taken downfield by Batista and this Chapman team. It was a big 53-yard reception that got him inside the red zone. But for Laverne, again, coming up with stops inside the red zone to minimize red zone points. 7-3, Alfonso with the kickoff, a squib kick. Gonna be pushed downfield, fielded here, and now going to be run out. Dejon Logan on the return. He gets out past the 20, downed at the 23-yard line, and that's where they will start their drive for Laverne with 18 seconds left here in the first quarter.
It's going to be a huge drive for Laverne. Can they get down the field and put more points on the board? Continue to put pressure on Chapman.
So relatively quick first quarter. About to come to a head. Josh Evans trots back out on the field with Robert Fernandez. 2 receivers to his right. Tight end off to the right for Laverne. Evans in the shotgun. He works here, play action. Gonna throw it out wide. That's number 14 on the reception, Jelani Garnett. Garnett, this is a guy I got to talk to this week, Chris. A guy who's 6'3", well-statured. He's got big hands and a guy that loves to compete. He talks about their practice competitions. Him, Grayson Allen, Russell Boucher, among others. It's a real receiving core that loves to go head-to-head with each other. And you're thinking it's keeping good synergy in the locker room for these guys. Garnett, a big reception there. It's going to be 2nd and 4 when we come back from the break. At the end of one, your score is 7-3 here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. For those of you tuning in from San Dimas, you've been listening to K-West.
They have Carne Asada. They're incredible.
So as we go to quarter here, the end of one, Laverne up 7-3. We'll give you some updated totals for Josh Evans. 7 for 7 here in the early part of the game. He's got 69 yards and a touchdown. Laverne unable to establish the run game, only 8 yards there in the first quarter. Quite similarly for Chapman as well, only 3 yards on the ground, but they've got it done through the air, Chris. 125 yards passing early on for the Chapman Panthers.
And that's something I really didn't expect coming into this game. These are 2 teams that love to run the ball. They love to establish their offense based on the run. And so far, it's just been an air attack on both sides. It's been fun to watch.
Fun to watch nonetheless as we head in here to the second quarter. Josh Evans set to take the first snap of the second, 2nd and 4. They hand it off to Fernandez, who's going to fight forward for a few yards, and he'll be close to that first down marker. Held short, it'll be 3rd and short for the Leopards.
Nice little ground and pound right there. I think Laverne, with the lead right now, would definitely want to try and control the clock.
They move up to the line quick. Again, back in the shotgun. Evans, he hands it off to Fernandez. Fights forward for a first down. Runs over a Chapman defenseman in the process. First down for the Leopards.
Big first down. Keep the chains moving. Keep the momentum going. All that is important to beating Chapman.
Ultimately, you want to keep the ball out of Chapman's hands. It's going to be time of possession battle that Laverne has got to win today if they want to keep in this one as they move into the later part of the game. Evans back in the shotgun. Single receiver over to his left. Multiple tight ends. Evans on the design QB run. Fights up the middle for 5 yards.
Ran off tackle, had a nice little hole, was able to pound it down there. He's a fast guy, and he was able to pick up enough for the first down.
A lot of Johnny Manziel type tendencies for Josh Evans. This is a guy a year ago that was a focal point in the run offense of Laverne, even as the quarterback. Here, healthy this year, the coaches of Laverne, especially Rich Warsaw, trying to keep him more in the pocket to keep him healthy. But here, Evans, using his speed, off along the edges. He's going to take a slide down. That's been the maturity and growth of Evans that's going to keep him healthy come end of the year.
Ran off to the left, had a moment of daylight. That defense was able to come in on him quick. But like you said, very smart for him to take the slide, avoid a huge hit, keep him in the game.
This is where the defensive ends have got to play strong. You are, in fact, the Chapman Panthers. Dylan Keefe, the DN, he's got to hold contain on Josh Evans there. Evans able to beat him around the corner. Evans hands it off to Fernandez here up the middle. He's going to fight for the first down on the 3rd and short. Laverne, they're going to fight back rather, losing yardage, so 4th down here. Will they punt?
You have to. You don't want to give up good field position in this situation. Let the defense has been playing well. They've been able to hold Chapman to just 3 points. Let him go out there. Let him try and handle business.
Boucher back to kick for the Leopards. You see this pretty customarily out of Boucher. Most punters you'd see back at 14, 15 yards. Boucher, a 10-yard guy. Catch and kick, that's what he does. Doesn't give you big yardage, but he gives you what you need. This is going to fight downfield. A Leopards roll. This is going to be a great punt for Boucher. Down inside the 5 after the Leopards kicking back on their own 42. That's all you can really ask out of Russell Boucher.
That punt had a lot of airtime on it. Able to soar. No one was able to catch it. Ball bounced perfectly for Laverne to get him inside the 10.
It is Russell Boucher looking like a seasoned vet there, staying away from the receiver, rather the person back to receive in Jacob Isabel. The senior Boucher with an incredible kick over 55 yards on the boot for Boucher, and the Leopards back the Panthers back up within their own 5. Tight end, fullback, pro formation for the Panthers here. They fake to the pass, they go to the run. A big tackle behind the line of scrimmage. And this looks like they're going to move them back close to the 3 now for the Leopards.
They stacked the box there. They even had the safeties moved up. If Chapman wanted to go into the air, it would have been one-on-one with both corners and the receivers, but they decided to go with the run, and Laverne was able to sniff it out.
Leopards really rely on their defensive backs. Raymond Morinez over on the right side here. Torrey Hilbert for the Leopards on the left. The near side to you. Again, now back to pass here. Safety for the Leopards. They'll take him down in his own end zone. Holding on to the ball just a bit too long, Ricky Batista. And the Leopards coming away with a big safety. It's going to be 9-3 now, the score for the Leopards after a big defensive stop.
Huge play to capitalize when Chapman is that far back in their own zone. To get back to throw down Batista and get those 2 points. And you're going to get the ball back. Laverne's defense is on it today.
Verne's defense making big plays. I had a chance to talk with Coach midweek this week, and he was excited about how geared up this Laverne defense was. Said they did the time in the film room they needed to get done. identified where some of the potential weaknesses could be in this potent offense for Chapman, and Laverne's been able to expose them thus far.
That defensive line has been able to get back there on a few occasions, kind of frustrate Batista, and they were finally able to bring him down for a sack. There was a lot going on back there in that end zone. I thought he was going to try and throw it away or air it out. Big play for Laverne.
They will be punting to Laverne here after the safety. Short punt fielded here by the Leopards. Comes off the man trying to receive the punt. Falls to the ground, but jumping on top of it's Marcus Belvin for the Leopards. So really just a fair catch in all essences of the game. But Laverne out near midfield, so good field position for the Leopards to start this drive.
It looked like he was already planning on taking off before he even had the ball in his hands. Muffed it there. Very fortunate to come up with that recovery. But still, great field position for this Laverne offense to start off.
Looked like a guy who wasn't too accustomed to receiving too many kicks. Nonetheless, does what he needs to do. He jumps on top of the ball, gives the Leopards good field position. And now Josh Evans in the shotgun to start this drive. A new running back in the backfield for the Leopards. Moves over to his left for a couple yards. It's Parker Martin on the carry.
Now start pounding it in. I could see Laverne starting to run it a little bit more often here. Run that clock. You have a lead. You have momentum. Try and tire out this Chapman defense.
Should really establish the run here like you're saying, and then take shots down the field when need be. Stuffed at the line of scrimmage, and now this is a moment where Laverne will be forced to throw. It's going to be 3rd and 8 for Laverne here.
It's a big thing about the running game. You can crash and burn with it if you don't do it right. You need to gain at least 3 or 4 yards each attempt. Force that defense to sneak up.
Evans up under center here. Something new. Okay, Evans now going to drop back into the shotgun. Trips over to his right, a single receiver to his left on the short side of the field. Running back offset to the left of Evans. Evans out of the shotgun, play action. Steps up into the pocket. Gonna throw it out to the flats. First down, and now more. He's running. 84 with the reception. Brandon Long with the big reception for the Leopards.
Outstanding patience by Evans there in the pocket. He had guys around him everywhere, but he's able to take a step up, move off to the right, find his open receiver for a big gain.
It's the junior Brandon Long, his 5th reception of the season, and it couldn't have come at a bigger time or in a bigger game for the Leopards. Leopards, mind you, 1-1 in conference play. Chapman 3-0. Leopards find a way to take down Chapman today. It is going to be serious confusion at the top of the standings in regards to Skyak. Ball carrier picks up a yards for the Leopards. 2nd down coming your way.
Oh yeah, a win against Chapman would be huge for Laverne. It's funny, with Occidental going down, you basically have an extra bye week to prepare for this game. They're able to get everyone healthy.
For Laverne, I'll tell you this much. They've already put Redlands in the books for them. A tough loss at that. But to have an extra bye week coming into one of the top teams in conference, they'll take it. Thrown across the middle of the field, batted down by the defensive line. Brandon Long, the attempted target, now 3rd and long again for Josh Evans and the Leopards. This could be 4-down territory, though, if the Leopards are able to pick up some yardage here on 3rd down.
Get his guy open underneath the linebackers, but great job by that Chapman defensive line to put a hand out there and bat the ball away.
Got twins receivers for the Leopards here, offset to both sides of the field. Running back to his right. Boucher off to the left, the tight end. Evans scrambling. Ball wiggles loose for a second, but the Leopards pounce on top of it.
Right side of that offensive line got beat. Evans tried to pull away, but a nice little shoestring tackle brought him down for the sack.
Shoestring tackle for the Chapman Panthers. Backs the Leopards up away, but when you got a guy like Russell Boucher kicking for you, the Leopards can rest a bit easy.
17, Russell Boucher, confirmation.
Big stop for Chapman.
Boucher here with the kick. Another booming kick. Is it going to bounce back Nearly pins it on the goal line, does Boucher. But it rolls into the end zone, so coming back out to the 20-yard line will be the Panthers to start their drive. Leopards do not come up with points there, but rest assured, a long field to drive for Chapman here with 8:33 left on the clock in the second.
It's a big drive for Chapman. That Laverne defense has had their numbers so far. They've been able to get deep into the red zone, but they haven't been able to put the necessary points that they want on the board. They haven't been able to get into the end zone.
Batista trots back out, and for Chapman, they start their drive here. A quick pass out to the right side. And a near drop close to the ground, but they're going to say Jacob Isabel with the catch.
Going back to the short pass game again.
Covering on the play was Terrell Gilbert.
With the way that Laverne defensive line has been playing, you don't want to hold on to the ball too long.
Now you see Torrey Hilbert, who was the defensive back on the play, coming up in a press coverage. The running back breaks free. This is Moody. He's off to the races, and it's going to be Moody who runs it in here for a 70-yard touchdown for Moody, and the quick strikes for Chapman are how they're going to find their way back into this game.
Laverne had everyone up close. Joe Moody was able to break through the middle, and he was off to the races. He is very fast. No one could catch him.
So on his fourth carry of the game, a 70-plus yard run for Chapman. And now you look at the balance of their offense, 130 yards passing, more than 70 yards rushing. And that's how one play can really change the course of a game. After this extra point is now up and good. Chapman takes a 9-10 lead over the Leopards here on the Leopards home field. So there's a give and a power run right up the middle, and it was Moody who was able to get to the second level, make a guy miss, and he was off to the races.
There was no one there to stop him after he got past that second level. The safeties were spread out. There was no one that was going to be able to catch him. Moody is way too fast for anyone to have been able to stop him.
So with 7:54 left here in the second, your score, the Leopards 9, Chapman 10. Alfonso to kick here and back to receive for the Leopards, Dejan Logan. Alfonso kicking it at Logan. Logan gonna have a run out with this. Just reaching out a hand and catching the end of the shoulder pads there is all is needed for a tackle for Chapman. And Logan down inside the 24-yard line. So the Leopards going to have a 76-yard field to attack here on their next drive with 7:59 left or 7:49 left here in the second quarter.
This is going to be a big drive for Laverne. They haven't had much luck offensively since that touchdown drive. It's important for them to get some points on the board, continue to put pressure on Chapman.
Evans still in the ball game, back with Fernandez in the backfield here. He's got Twins receivers to both sides of the field. Short side of the field to his right. Evans from the gun. Drops back. Pump fake again. Evans rolling out. He's going to throw it downfield. Is that great adjustment to the ball by the receiver. And Jamie Valet hauling it in on the strike downfield. Good eye contact from Valet and Evans to link up there on the 30-yard blast.
Little improvisation in that play.
Look at your replay here. Josh Evans rolling out to his left, and the defensive back had no clue in the world of where Evans and the ball was, but a good job by Valet to keep his eyes back. He adjusts to the ball in flight, comes down on the diving catch for the Leopards, now down inside Chapman territory after the big play. First down. Inside the 40 for the Leopards. From the shotgun, Josh Evans moves the pocket, rolls to the right, another pump fake. Evans now using his legs. Gonna move upfield for a couple-yard gain.
Evans on the keeper.
For a second there, I thought we were about to see exactly what we saw in the last play. I was thinking Evans was going to signal to the receiver to go out deeper. Hey, I'm going to throw it to you, just like he did the last play, but decided to keep it and gain some yards running.
And it's so tough to guard Josh Evans as a defense. The second he moves the pocket, this is a guy that you've got to honor his legs, but if you pull off of the receiver, he's good enough to throw it downfield for big strikes. Evans moves with his legs here, picks up a yard. Boucher lined up as the tight end off to his left. Two more receivers to the left of Boucher. Run for Fernandez. He fights upfield. 4-yard gain, and it'll be 3rd and 5 for the Leopards inside Chapman territory.
Nice little respectable gain right there on the ground. Now you have a much more manageable 3rd down. This is a huge 3rd down for Laverne coming up.
Mind you, this was the same positioning on the field last drive that we saw the Leopards. It was this same scenario. About a 3rd and 5, a 3rd and 6, and it was Chapman who brought the house, blitzed, able to sack Josh Evans. See if the script is flipped here. Evans in the gun. Receivers break from the line of scrimmage. Evans moves the pocket. Downfield. He's got a receiver. He hauls it in. They're going to say no catch. And here at the Division III level, that is not a reviewable play. So Chapman with a big stop. For Laverne, do you consider going for it here now on 4th down?
I don't. It's still too early in the game to be giving up that kind of field position. But that was a great job by Evans. He saw the blitz coming. He rolled out to the right. Nice grab by the receiver. Unfortunately, couldn't get his feet down.
For the receiver, he goes up, but a good job by the corner to meet him as that ball's being catched and push him out of bounds. Doesn't allow him to come back down on the field of play. Good dart again by Josh Evans. You're seeing the growth of this passing game for Laverne. Evans, 9 of 11 here today, a $125 through the air, and a good timeout taken here by Laverne to burn one. On a 4th and long, they look like they were going to go for it.
They probably saw what the defense is going to do, decide to call a timeout, change it up. Now it's going to be interesting to see what they do. Are they going to, is the offense going to come back out? Are they going to punt it? This is a huge, huge play coming up this early in the game.
9-10 your score, 5:51 left here in the first half. Leopards looking like they're going to go for it here. Timeout taken by head coach Chris Greek. They're inside Chapman territory. Right now, the ball on the 34-yard line for the Leopards. They need to make it down 6 more yards. So for the Leopards, needing to get to the 28. We've seen them thrive today when they've been able to move the pocket, as you would assume they're going to pass here. When you get Josh Evans out the pocket, and he works out in the flats, those receivers in the flats, you've seen mismatches there. A guy rolling up on Evans to honor the run, pulls somebody off of the receivers. Got to think with Evans here, he's going to use his legs. He's got trips over to his left. Fernandez in the backfield, solo receiver off to his right. Evans in the shotgun. Crowd coming alive. Audible coming in from the sidelines. It's only a 16-play playbook that they have instilled right now for Josh Evans. Go to the shovel pass here, and looking like it was gonna be a good play call. You saw daylight, but a good job by Chapman to break off of the blocks downfield. They stop Fernandez short and a turnover on downs.
Went with the option, pitched it to the outside. He had a lot of daylight there, but he was met by a lot of white jerseys to prevent him from getting that first down. Huge stop for Chapman.
Big stop for Chapman. Bob Owens got to be happy how his team responded here. They don't put up points on the first drive after the missed field goal. They collect a safety. Yet they find themselves right in the thick of this game. They're up 10-9. They've got their lead quarterback on the field now. And it's going to be Ricky Batista. There's a long field ahead of him on this drive. Play action. They fake. Throwing downfield. Cornerback there trying to adjust the ball. Incomplete pass.
Almost got away with another big pass play right there. Ball had a little too much air under it, floated there for a second, and then just dropped. Wasn't able.
Offsides on the defense, so it's a free play.
Oh, and that's costly right there.
Tough to see the flag from our vantage point, Chris. Tough moment for the Leopards after it was an evident incomplete pass.
That was basically a free play for Chapman. Now they have another shot at first down.
Might explain why to the big throw downfield off the hand of Batista. Now a 1st and 5 for Batista and the Panthers. Another play action. Only picking up a couple of yards there after the throw out to the Flasks. In on the coverage, it was number 24, Jose Aguero.
Another short pass play there. These corners may have to start thinking about pressing a little bit more. Try and prevent that, because that seems to be one of the key elements of Chapman's offense today, is that short pass game.
Darrell making the tackle.
Second and 3, Chapman. They run with Moody. A guy to miss. He makes a miss. Oh, he was one tackle away from off to the races. A good job by trailing the play there. It was a linebacker for Laverne. It was number 53 who came in on the tackle late in the play.
Great job by that Chapman offensive line. Able to make a big hole for Moody. It was one cut, and he was almost off to the races.
So Moody big there. Another offsides on Laverne after they jump. And it was 51 who jumped there for Laverne. It was Giovanni Dialera.
Offside, number 77, defense. Contact in the neutral zone. 5-yard penalty, first down.
Got a little eager there. Gotta watch that snap count. Gotta watch that ball. Don't want to be making mistakes like this.
Batista here from the gun. Another 1st and 5 for Chapman. They go back to Moody. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. The clock gonna tick under 4 minutes here as the next play will be snapped. Laverne trailing 9-10 as we speak. Chapman down inside Laverne territory. 2nd down coming for Chapman.
Moody tried to take it just off to the left of the center, but was met by those defensive tackles of Laverne. They were able to plug up those holes and prevent him from getting another huge run.
Hand off to Moody. Moody again fighting up the middle. He's going to pick up a first for Moody. This guy's quick when he hits those plays between the tackles.
This is what Laverne doesn't want to do. They do not want to allow Chapman to get this running game going. Once they get this running game going, Chapman will be able to beat them in a number of different ways. In the air, play action, wildcat, you name it. That stopping the run is pivotal for Laverne.
New back checks in. Marcellus Hunter for Chapman. Still in the gun is Batista. Design run here for Batista, or rather he saw nothing out to the right side. Tries to go to the QB draw. Doesn't even fight back to the line of scrimmage, so a good 1st down stop for Laverne. Now has him at 2nd and 11.
Nice stop by Laverne right there. Batista tried to find that seam, but it closed up real quick.
Clock now ticking under 2 minutes and 45 seconds here in the 1st half. Hunter still in the backfield off to the right of Batista. Twins off to the left, single receiver to the right. They dump it off to Hunter. And another great play, tackle for a loss behind the line of scrimmage, and 2 tackles for a loss in the row for the Leopards. And now looking at 3rd and 16 for Chapman for Laverne. Are you rushing guys here? What are you doing?
I would probably disguise a blitz. I'd probably make it look like I'm stacking the box, have some guys pop out, throw off Batista, make him think like he's only got one guy to throw to.
There go protection. Heavy to the left side with the tight end. The tight end releases for Batista, and now he's gonna run. Leopards defensemen, they come up on him. They're gonna stop him short. Possible 4-down territory though for Chapman.
Definitely a pass play there, and Batista with nowhere to throw, takes it, tucks it in, and takes off.
So this on the 29 here, this would be a 46-yard field goal. So now you got 4th down. 5 to go. So a good scramble of 10 yards for Batista. 4th and 5, they're going for it. They offset the protection to the right. Tight end, 3-point stance. Batista in the gun. Moody back in the game, he releases. Batted down over the middle. Laverne comes up with a big stop and a turnover on downs with 1:06 left here in the half.
Yeah, Laverne's secondary at it again, swatting the ball down, preventing the receiver from making the grab in the first down. Now it's up for that Laverne offense. Times of the essence. I would definitely like to see him go back to what they were doing originally, throwing the ball downfield, allowing Evans to set his feet and just zip it into the downfield.
And Chris, does it change how you play call here? Mind you, the Leopards receive come second half. 1:06 left. Are you looking for the big play to here to go get down some points?
You have over a minute left. I would definitely try and take a shot downfield, try and get into the end zone, put more points on the board.
2 timeouts for Laverne. Josh Evans back in the gun. He's got twins to both sides. Throwing it downfield, the receiver does not turn around. It was him who was not on the same page. Mason Thomas doesn't turn his eyes around. Could have been a big catch downfield had Thomas turned his eyes.
That would have been a huge play, but the miscommunication almost led to an interception. He curled when I guess he was supposed to continue up the seam.
Offensive line doing a good job of keeping Evans dry today. Trips off to the left for Evans, along with Fernandez in the backfield, single receiver to the right. From the gun, Evans. On cue, though, sacked by Chapman.
There's nothing you can really do there. The line tried their best. Evans stepped up in the pocket, but stepped up into the arms of one of the Chapman's defensive linemen.
You might see Evans just go to a timeout taken by Chapman, and smart to do so because as it looked, clock was at 39 seconds. Laverne could have taken a kneel and been done with it. But now here, Bob Owens forcing Chris Creek to make the decision. You still got to make a play and get a punt off here.
42 seconds.
I say take another deep shot downfield. If that doesn't work, go for the punt.
They're going to put 42 seconds left back on the clock for Laverne. But Laverne, ball on their 22, and after the sack, it will be 3rd and very long, 3rd and 16. Look for Josh Evans here to move the pocket. Potentially go the wide side of the field and try and find a receiver downfield. It's what's worked for him today. Evans, 125 yards passing with a touchdown, 9 of 12 through the air. Fernandez, a tough time getting it going today, 7 carries, only 18 yards. You don't expect them to run here, but could a possible screen be in store for the Leopards?
It definitely could. It allows them to gain a few yards, continue to take time off the clock.
Evans outside the pocket, trailed by the Panthers. He gets brought down. So Evans down behind the line of scrimmage. Another timeout, it looks like, taken by the Panthers immediately to give them more time left on the clock. You can see Bob Owens' train of thought here. We're receiving this thing and we're going for more points.
Looks like they're catching on to Josh Evans' ability to run out of the pocket. They followed him the entire time and took him down.
So another timeout taken by Chapman. Will push Laverne back into a punting situation. It'll be a good one that's needed off the foot of Boucher. You'd like to see this get well past midfield. So Chapman with no timeouts is really going to have some big plays in order to even get in the field goal range.
Well, Chapman's more than capable of unleashing those huge plays. We've already seen it twice today.
Chapman 235 yards of total offense today. Laverne 137 yards of total offense today. 10-9 your score. 33 seconds left here in the half. So Boucher back to kick for the Leopards. 10 yards deep is Boucher. Good boot off the foot of Boucher and a fair catch taken by Isabel. That's going to be down on the 48-yard line for Chapman. So 52 yards to go, 27 seconds left. You've got to really rely on your veteran leader in that of Ricky Batista.
Yes, it's going to be interesting to see what they do. He has the potential of airing it down into the end zone, but Joe Moody has been going off today so far. It's going to be interesting to see what Chapman does.
Moody, 101 rush yards on the game. He's 106 yards on the ground customarily per game, so nearly at status quo, as is Jacob Isbell, who's 106 yards receiving per game. He's got 108 here in the first half. Plenty of weapons to go around. They motion the receiver from right to left. Play action. They throw back to the right. It's Isabel on the catch and the run. And he's going to get out of bounds. Big play for Chapman there. Isabel was nearly in at the numbers and fought his way over to the sideline, and it stops the clock with 20 seconds left.
Little bubble screen there. Isabel makes the grab, works his way upfield. Good blocking for him. And unfortunately for Laverne, he was able to roll out of bounds to stop the clock.
Quite the trust Bob Owens has in this guy for Jacob Isabel, rightfully so. Batista looking to his left. He was trying to find Isabel. Now he's going to run. Look at now he gets out of bounds. Another big play. 12 seconds left. At what point do you take the shot downfield at the end zone?
12 seconds left. That's still an eternity for football. They can definitely, they're at a 1st and 10.
But Chris, here you look at this. They don't take a shot at the end zone, and they do catch it before the goal line. You're basically banking on your lineman running down and spiking. You've got to think this is going towards the end zone here. He steps up in the pocket. Flag thrown. Got to believe this is a holding call. 3 seconds left on the clock. Got to imagine it's going to stay at 3 seconds. Holding call should back him up 10 more. So you're looking at a Hail Mary here now for Bob Owens.
That was a great job by Laverne to basically move Batista out of the pocket, force him to run, get him down inbounds, and he even got a foul.
Holding. Number 56, offense. 10-yard penalty, second down.
There of Laverne that did the best job of locking up their best target in that of Jacob Isabel. Then at that point, you've really got to jump to option number 2 if you're Ricky Batista, and for him there it was his legs. Fortunately for Laverne, they moved the pocket, drew the holding penalty, and they downed him well short of even the goal line. Had that penalty flag not even been thrown, it might have even been better for Laverne because Isabel would have been down. They wouldn't have had time to run up on the ball and spike it. The half would be over. So now Chapman getting the extra benefit of a Hail Mary here. They're going to throw it out of bounds. That's how the first half will end. 10-9 your score after Ricky Batista throws it away. Good coverage again downfield for Laverne. And a good job by Laverne to rebound after what it seemed like a head full of steam for Chapman. They go up, they put up big points, they get a 3 and out. But for Laverne, their defense came up big when they needed to. They head into the locker room only down by a point. You've got to be happy if you're head coach Chris Krieg.
Oh, definitely. That Laverne defense needs to pat themselves on the back. They prevented a team that we know Chapman can put points on the board. And Laverne has been able to stop them and hold them to just 10. It's still a very winnable game for Laverne. This is still a very grinded out contest for both teams.
You look at Chapman, this is a team on a 3-game win streak. They put up over 40 in each of those games. But here in the first half, Laverne, the arch nemesis to that of Chapman, they've held them to 10 points. They got the added benefit of a field goal off their uprights. No good. A safety by Laverne. Defense coming up big. Bright spots all over the place. Among them, Josh Evans and his ability to throw downfield. He's 9 of 12 in the first half, 125 yards. The big dart to Russell Boucher, but you turn your head to the other side. Some things you got to correct for sure if you're Laverne too. They've got to stop the big plays that Chapman's been able to strike on. Batista, his shots downfield, and that of big runs from Joe Moody.
And penalties have been killing them as well. They've been able to keep Chapman drives alive because of their penalties.
4 penalties, 18 yards. Laverne gave over to Chapman in the first half. But that is not the telltale story of this first half. Laverne's in this one. They're down by a point. It's been fun. It's been good, but we still have plenty more to come here in the second half, so we'll step aside. We'll be back, give you some things to look forward to in the second half, and we'll get rolling. You don't want to go anywhere. Plenty more SCIAC football to come your way on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television.
Those guys.
Let's do those pearly whites, man. Ooh, cute.
Are you good to drive?
I'm fine.
Hey girl, what's the name? What's happening? How many did you have?
I should be fine.
You should be.
Sir, go and step out of the vehicle for me.
Yes, sir. See ya, buddy. Today, Sean's got a hearing. We'll see how it goes. Good luck. So turns out, buzz driving and drunk driving, they're the same thing, and it costs around $10,000. So not worth it.
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
We bring you back here onto LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. I'm Hal Hargrave alongside Christopher Livingston, and we're about to get started in the second half here. Laverne trails by 1 point, 10-9. So we head into the second half. Some updated totals for you coming from the first half. For Chapman, they've been relying on the hot hand of Ricky Batista at the helm for them. He's 14 of 19 for 139 yards. Joe Moody, their running back, 101 yards on the ground with a touchdown. For Laverne, Josh Evans thrown for 125 in the air, but unable to get the run game going has been Laverne. They've been opting to try to go for it via Josh Evans' legs. Look for them if they want to succeed come second half. Keep Josh Evans in the pocket, get him to throw those quick passes, and utilize the good plays of his receivers downfield. Chris, what does Laverne got to do to fight their way back into this one?
Well, like you just said, they need to keep Josh Evans in the pocket. They were doing so well during that first drive where they scored the touchdown. He seems like he's much more accurate at this point, planting his feet and zipping it downfield. Right now, he's been doing a lot of rolling out, and the defense has seemed to sniff that out. So if they can change it up, if they can establish a running game, more importantly, that could really help out that offense, give more options.
Robert Fernandez, 7 carries for 18 yards in the first half. Dejon Logan receiving the kickoff here. Unable to get back out past the 15-yard line. And a flag thrown. You got to think this is going against Laverne, and it could back up Laverne to start their first drive of the second half.
If it's against Laverne, that is not the way you want to start off the second half.
Call coming in from the referee now.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 26 of the return team. Half the distance to the goal. Laverne keeps the ball. First down.
So Laverne will start on their 6-yard line after the good kick off the foot of Alfonso for Chapman. Dejan Logan had a tough time returning it even out past the 15. So Laverne starting well back in their own zone here. Be Josh Evans at the helm for Laverne. Fernandez in the backfield with him. A receiver off to his right along with the tight end. Another tight end and receiver off to his left. Evans with the design QB run up the middle here. Fights forward for a few yards. Second and long.
Try to run it off to the right. The defense is able to sniff it out. I would have been interested to see him try and take a shot downfield. He had both receivers on one-on-one coverage, no safety in the back to help him out.
There was the nose tackle, Adam O'Shea, number 90, who was in on the tackle for Chapman. Second down. Evans again in the shotgun. Dejan Logan and Parker Martin off to his right. Handoff here to Fernandez. He stood up at the line of scrimmage. They're going to back him up a yard. So now the Leopards looking at 3rd and 9. Not a way you want to start your second half.
Those big bodies of that Chapman defensive line have been able to plow through on these last 2 plays and make some big stops, preventing any yardage to be gained.
Making the tackle.
Couple of extra downfield receivers being brought in for Laverne here. Among them split off to the right, Jelani Garnett. Boucher off to the left by himself for Josh Evans. He looks left, now rolls right. Evans here, throws it away. And a quick 3 and out for Chapman. Bob Owens got to be happy with his defense with that stand-up on the first drive of the second half for Laverne.
Those linebackers are watching Evans every step of the way, watching when he rolls out, and they're following him and preventing him from being able to make that rollout pass that has helped him out so far in this game.
Kind of that QB spy that we spoke about at the break that needs to be implemented on the behalf of the Laverne defense on Ricky Batista. Giving a taste of their own medicine is Chapman showing QB spy there. Josh Evans unable to use the legs to pick up yardage. He has to throw it away. Boucher to kick here. Quick kick by Boucher, well over the head of Isbell, who runs back on it, fields it well behind the 50, block in the back for Chapman. It's going to back it up, but not after the ball was already returned to the 48. It should back it up at least 10.
Huge block in the back by Chapman. The Laverne defender had him. That block in the back prevented a huge special teams play by Laverne.
It was 34, Robert Fernandez, who is in fact the running back who got blocked in the back and pulls up lane.
During the return, illegal block in the back. Number 44 of the return team. 10-yard penalty. Chapman keeps the ball. First down.
44, Dylan Keefe, also the defensive end. Has been doing a good job containing Josh Evans on the defensive side. The ball gets called for the block in the back on special teams. So they'll be backed up inside their own 35 now after the 15-yard penalty. So the ball will start now for Chapman on their 33. Out of the shotgun, throwing right on the quick screen. Isabel with another catch. Big 8-yard pickup on first down.
Yeah, Chapman's been utilizing those short passes, these short screens all game, and it has allowed the Laverne defense to move up, and it's opened up more opportunities for either Joe Moody to plow through for big gains or for Batista to throw it over their heads.
Ten to 9 your score. 12:45 left here in the third quarter. This one thrown over the head of the receiver downfield. So now we're looking at 3rd and short. Penalty flag on the play in the backfield. This could be holding on Chapman.
That was a great job by the Laverne defensive line to move Batista out of the pocket. Great, even better job by the secondary.
Personal foul, roughing the passer. Number 24, defense. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
They're going to tag Jose Aguero with a roughing the passer. Came in the backfield, did the flag, and now it's going to move the chains. Fortunately for Ricky Batista and Chapman, Batista gets up after the roughing the passer penalty. He's good to go. For Chapman, they're even better. So they move now into Laverne territory. Ball on the 49 of Laverne. Free play coming for Chapman. Downfield, it's a dart, and a free play turns into a touchdown for Chapman. A dart down the field to number 9. It's the wide receiver with the touchdown on the play. Kavan Minzadea.
That's one of the big keys for that Laverne defense for the second half is they got to limit the penalties. That's 2 big penalties.
Defense. The penalty is declined. The result of the play is a touchdown.
Batista able to capitalize on that on the defensive line, jumping across the line, zipped it downfield to the right side to the open receiver who was able to take it in for 6, excuse me.
And it was the defensive back who couldn't run with the Minzadea downfield, and it was Ricky Batista who threw the 45-yard dart on a line. In stride, receiver catches it and fights his way to break the plank. Chapman looking for the extra point. Extra point here is up and good. Chapman takes an 8-point lead, 17-9 your score now. And Ricky Batista, 197 yards through the air and a touch for Batista and Chapman. Coming out on the first drive of the second half and putting up points.
Now Laverne has to respond here. They need to put some points on the board and continue to keep this a close game. They do not want to get into a shootout with this Chapman offense.
This Chapman offense, plenty of weapons to go around. And for Laverne, just not those that could be matched with that of a team that's high-powered in terms of offense at 460-something yards a game. For Laverne, they're not accustomed to that. They're 268 yards a game of total offense. So this team not wanting to go to that shootout mentality. They're going to rely heavy on their defense, and special teams could be where this game is won. They're going to need some sort of a big return here to get them in good field position to try to get the ball rolling here in the second half. Taking the kick here. This is number 23 who gets stood up on the 17-yard line. It was James Gonzalez stood up by number 94 on the coverage team, Jalen Dural.
Big hit right there. White jerseys everywhere. Didn't have much of a chance to try and make a big return out of that.
Good job on the coverage by the big guy downfield. Jalen Dural fighting his way down, making the tackle. 6'3", 220 is Dural. The freshman. Stood up at the line of scrimmage. Is the ball carrier for Laverne. It was Josh Evans on the carry. Laverne just really not finding a way to getting it going. Chapman seeming to find a game plan that works.
Well, they're able to take away Josh Evans' ability to roll out of the pocket where he makes most of his throws, and now they're taking away the run game. So now Laverne is in a difficult spot offensively. How are they going to respond? How are they going to overcome this?
Josh Evans going to have to become the pocket passer that they need him to be here. He sticks in the pocket. Breaks through as an offensive lineman. This one, shovel pass, trying to get some positive yardage at least, as this one was really close to being a safety. Good job by Evans to have the peace of mind to dish that one off. A, to not take a sack on the very least at the 1-yard line. B, not to take a safety, but then to try and get back to the line of scrimmage after the dump off.
Well, you saw there Evans tried to stick it in the pocket, but there's great penetration by the Chapman defensive line. Put him under pressure, made him roll out, and then if it wasn't for that little dink and dunk pass he just did, that could have been disaster for Laverne.
Couple of big guys up at front. Austin Pica at 280. Adam O'Shea at 250 on the defensive line. fighting through there to push Evans out of the pocket. Evans stepping up in the pocket here. This one thrown out of reach of the receiver. It was number 80 outstretched on that, Nathaniel Nastagumi. So now Laverne forced to punt again back into their own zone, and it's a game of field position for Chapman that they keep on winning.
Chapman only brought 3 linemen that time, gave Evans plenty of time in the pocket. However, he threw right there in the center of the field where there were defenders everywhere.
Chapman finding penetration now up front, causing problems with Josh Evans. Boucher to kick here. Good punt by Boucher, received back at the 45 for Chapman. Big return for Isabel. He fights back down all the way to the 27-yard line. Huge return for Chapman and for Isabel.
And that's the last thing Laverne wants is for Chapman to get that far into their territory. Great field position for Chapman. An excellent opportunity for them to strike once again.
So Chapman here feeling like they were back right to where they were starting just a few minutes ago. Ball back in their hands, an 8-point lead, 10:40 left on the clock here in the third. And this is real buckle down time for Laverne. This is basically a drive that you could really let this game get away from you, and Moody has something to say about it. Moody with the big first down, moving the chains.
Hands it off to Moody, and Moody's been doing this great all game, being able to punch through the middle, one cut, and he's gone.
Moody now with 115 yards on the ground. 325 yards total offense for Chapman. Another free play for Chapman after Laverne jumps off sides. And now you're going to get a holding call on the defensive secondary of Laverne, so 2 fouls now on Laverne on the same play. Things just not falling the way of the Leopards right now.
He got the free play there when the defensive end jumped, but even worse for Laverne with that pass interference right there at the end. So rather than getting the 5 yards up, now it's going to be, I would assume, half the distance to the goal line.
Call coming in from the head ref now.
We have 2 fouls on the play. Offside. Defense. Number 92. That penalty is declined. Pass interference. Defense. Number 48. That penalty is accepted, and the ball will be placed at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
So it was Kyle Kelly who jumped off sides, and then it was Raymond Morinez who was in on the pass interference call, and now half the distance to the goal puts Chapman all the way up inside the 8-yard line of Laverne territory. Batista in the gun. Handoff to Moody. Moody moving to the right, picking up 2 yards.
Ran to the right, was able to pound through for a couple of yards. Great stop by the Laverne defense. If Laverne can hold them to 3 or less points on this drive, that would be huge for them. A turnover would be just what they need. They need something that's going to shift this momentum that Chapman's got building right now.
Turnover could be what Laverne needs, but nonetheless, just needing to minimize the damage. The task at hand for Laverne. Motion. Isabel moving from right to left. Faking the handoff. They throw it back to the right, and walking his way into the end zone, it's the fullback, Diano Pachote.
Little play action play. I like to use this in goal line situations in Madden, where the fullback's going to slip out to the right. The Batista able to roll out and find the open fullback.
It's a great job by Bob Owens working with his OC there. The most unexpected guy on the field to receive the ball. They've been going to Isabel all game. They're down on the goal line. Okay, maybe they hand it off to Moody. What do? They run their fullback out of the backfield to the weak side. And there he is on the bootleg rollout, and just a quick dump off. And now with the extra point, Chapman, once upon a time up by 1, they find themselves up by 15.
It has been all Chapman so far in the third quarter. Laverne needs to get some points on the board. They need to try and be aggressive. They need to play smart. They need to reduce penalties. most importantly, they need to get some first downs.
130 yards of total offense for Laverne. Majority of that came back in the first quarter. For Laverne, really suffering the past couple of quarters now. Talk about nearly 25 minutes of game time of basically being stagnant. What do you got in your bag of tricks if you're Coach Rich Warsaw, the offensive coordinator for the Leopards? Time to dig deep.
They need to spread out the field. They need to pass more. They need to get some completions downfield. Force Chapman to respect that spread out, and then that'll open up that run game again, and then hopefully that can open up the playbook more for Laverne.
Well, for Laverne, you got to look for Josh Evans to be the pocket passer on those quick throws. Some hitch routes, some stuff out to those bubble screens is not only going to give you some confidence back, but it's then going to allow Laverne to get small chunks, open up the field a bit, and then get to third and short where they could possibly use Fernandez to establish that run game again. And when Laverne is able to get to that point where they can start to dump off passes at short yardage, they could then start to take shots downfield when a bit too aggressive nature comes about on some of these corners for Chapman. For here, Laverne, they're in desperation mode at this point. Down by 15, 9:19 left. Certainly the game not out of reach, but it could get out of hand. Shall you not get anything going here on this drive?
Well, if you remember at the beginning of the game, that first drive by Laverne, they were utilizing a lot of short passes, quick hitches, a lot of short passes like that, and then they were able to open it up downfield. They need to keep doing that.
Evans in the gun, faking the handoff, and then a little shovel pass underneath to Boucher. No yardage on the play, so Laverne still opting to go to the run, but still nothing there. It is that defensive line of Chapman who seems to time and time again find a way to put pressure and get into the backfield of Laverne.
Well, that's good, though. I would not want to abandon the run just yet. It's still only the third quarter. If you can establish that, you can get a lot of things going, but they definitely need to open up the pass game more.
Evans back in the gun. Hands off to Fernandez. 2 straight runs for Laverne. Nothing.
That Chapman defensive line has been sniffing out these run plays all quarter so far, and they've been doing a remarkable job of not allowing Laverne to gain any positive momentum on the ground, and instead forcing them into third and long situations.
Can really feel the tone of this place change. Chapman riding the wave of momentum right now, but for Laverne, a real desperate time for a need of a big play. See if they're able to get that going here. 3rd and 11 for Laverne. Ball backed up on their own 19. Evans from the gun. Fakes the handoff. Sticks in the pocket. Evans downfield, and he's going to overthrow the receiver and Dejon Logan. For Josh Evans and the Leopards, another 3 and out.
Great pass. He had a lot of time in the pocket. That's what he needs. But when you're in a end-long situation, it makes it very difficult because the defense, they were spread out. They were reading pass the entire time. If you can do that exact same thing but in those earlier downs, you throw off that entire Chapman defense.
Isabel still back to receive for Chapman. Boucher needing a serious kick with some hang time on it. Try and change field position here. Boucher with the kick. It's a low one. It gets a Leopards roll. Rolls towards the sideline and out of bounds. Could have been the best thing that happened to Laverne here in the second half. Laverne doesn't allow for a return there, and they push the ball down near the 35-yard line on Chapman's side of the field. So Laverne finally getting the benefit of the doubt in terms of field position here. Now a chance for a big stop for Laverne to try to fight their way back into this one.
Time for that defense to have a short memory. They need to just keep going out, keep grinding. They need to prevent these penalties, though. That's what's been killing them so far in this half.
Big hit coming up from the corner right there on the quick stop route at the line of scrimmage. It was Isabel with the reception, but picking up short yardage. So Chapman looking at 2nd and long.
And that's one of the things that this defense has been doing well today, has been able to lay a big hit on those receivers. And a lot of times it was popping out the balls initially at the beginning of the game. They just got to continue to play aggressively like that in the secondary.
7:14 left. Batista dropping back to pass, 2nd and long. Throwing it to the out route, and a near pickoff there as the receiver never came back. It was Mark Pachorik, the receiver who looked like he was going to a curl route. He curled the wrong way. What Batista wanted looked like an out route.
I assumed that was going to be a screen pass something at first, because I saw one of the linemen pull out to the right and get in a blocking position as if the ball was going to be a screen play, but instead threw that hitch and almost picked off. A great job by the Laverne secondary.
Batista now looking at 3rd and long and a pivotal moment for the Leopards D. Batista out of the gun, dropping back to pass, throwing towards the sidelines, and the ball squirts away after he goes to the ground. It was Trevor Ville outstretched on the attempted reception for Laverne. They get the benefit of the doubt of a drop ball and a chance to go back on offense with some better field position for Laverne.
I like that. That was great. You had a blitz from the outside on the right that threw off Batista's timing. He wasn't able to set his feet or get the pass off the way he wanted to, which resulted in that drop. Great job by the Laverne defense on this drive.
Torrey Hilbert back to receive for the Leopards. Good punt up and away, and it looks like it's moving towards the sidelines, out of bounds, just inside the 40-yard line of the Leopards. So Hilbert, no return on the play, but for the Leopards, a chance to get back on offense and put some points on the board. Mind you, Chris, Josh Evans really's got a lot on the plate. Talked to head coach Chris Creek, and this whole offense relies on the run, RPO, as they call it, for him, the run-pass option. He goes up to the line of scrimmage and really can make 3 different options based off whatever he sees. He can opt to hand the ball off, run the ball himself, or make the pass if need be. So a lot that he's reading here for Josh Evans. He's back in the shotgun. Boucher off to his right, trips to his left. Fakes the handoff, shovel pass underneath to Boucher. Same play they tried to run on 2nd down of the previous drive. Again, nowhere for Laverne.
And this Chapman defense has done a great job of reducing the Laverne offense to having to just throw the ball. They've been sniffing out every run play, even those little pitch plays that we just witnessed. And right now, they need some sort of big play. Like I said, a few pass plays downfield will open up that defense, open up that playbook, allow Josh Evans to do a lot more.
Evans always getting the added benefit of having protection in the backfield as Fernandez back to block for him. But certainly not giving him enough time, as it would seem, to make big plays downfield. For here, a bright spot in Laverne's game, a 19 on the reception, Mason Thomas, and a 1st down for the Leopards.
Right there, he had time, he had protection, set his feet, made the throw. The receiver was able to power himself for a 1st down. So that was a great play for Laverne.
Great play for Laverne. 4 receivers set now for Laverne. Handoff to Fernandez, who moves over to his left. He'll fight forward for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 coming for Laverne with 5:40 left here in the 3rd quarter.
I like it. You got a couple pass plays going. Mix it up. Make this Chapman defense guess what you're going to do. Don't let Chapman force you to be one-dimensional.
Laverne getting back to moving the ball again. Again to Fernandez. He sees some daylight. Good cut by Fernandez. He fights upfield. A 20-yard gain for Fernandez and a 1st down. No flags. Play will stand.
That was a great job by that Laverne offensive line. Opened up the hole wide enough for Fernandez to run through. He did one good cut on the defender, allowed him to gain at least another 5 or 6 yards off that play.
You can see Laverne here going to hurry up offense. They don't want Chapman to change personnel on D. They want to go, go, go. Shotgun. Handoff to Fernandez again. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, they say on this drive. Fernandez over to his left, picks up a yard. Tempo will slow down.
Hudson Pica with a tackle.
I'm a big fan of that no-huddle offense, that when teams run that. You force the defense to keep their personnel on the field. They're not allowed to substitute as much, and you tire them out really, you can tire them out pretty fast.
Parker Martin in the backfield with Josh Evans, who's in the shotgun, trips to the right. They shovel pass out to Martin. Martin with some daylight. He fights upfield. Comes inside the defensive end there, who cheated outside to hold contained. And for Laverne, picking up more positive yardage and now looking to a 3rd and very short situation for Laverne.
A great job. Run to the left. Parker Martin's a big guy. He was able to plow through some of those defenders to gain that yardage. And you have a much more manageable 3rd down now.
3rd and 1. Ball on the 14 for the Leopards. They want 7. They'll take 3. They need points. Evans in the gun. Max protection of tight ends. Martin fighting up inside of the right tight end there. And a good job with the seal-off block coming from Caleb Johnson, the tight end. And it's Martin who runs into his left, picks up positive yardage, and they signal 1st down.
We're starting to see a lot of positivity in the run game coming from Laverne right now, and this is only going to make things easier for them in these upcoming drives. They're going to force Chapman to respect that run and move up, and then allow Evans to throw it over the top.
Evans here, now handing off to Fernandez. Fernandez fights inside. He's battling forward. He's close to the goal line. Inside the 5 for Fernandez.
Seems like these runs to the outside are really benefiting Laverne on this drive.
Well, Chris, not only that, when they bring in this extra tight end down in the 3-point stance, it's giving them an extra blocker. You've seen it here in the later part of this drive. It's where they've been able to excel. Got to see if they find that this is an added benefit to their running attack. Here again, off to Fernandez. He jumps in. Touchdown for Fernandez and the Leopards.
Great play. Fernandez able to dive over. That's not. I could hear the Sports Center tune going off there for a second.
Double tight for Laverne there. They had a 2 tight end set. Takes a couple of blockers for Laverne to fight their way into the end zone, but nonetheless, Fernandez dives over the pile, picks up 6 for Laverne, pending 1 more. Now the kick is up, and it is no good as it's pushed far right, and that will be a big point come later in the game. What would have been an 8-point deficit in a 1-possession game, now back to a 2-possession game, Chris. Here's your replay here as you see Fernandez, just a simple give up the middle. Fernandez says, I'm going up and over. He finds his way into the end zone, and now with 52 yards on the ground and a touchdown, Laverne has found their groove again in terms of the running game.
And that was a big hole that the offensive line was able to open up on that play. But Fernandez, rather than trying to plow it through, said, hey, I'm gonna be Rocket Man on this play. Just hopped over.
Verne will take the benefit of anything they can get at this point. Right now, it's positive points in the right direction. They're down by 9. 3:04 left here in the 3rd, and Laverne seeing a bright spot in today.
Offense delivered. Now it's time for the defense to come back out here and do it some more.
Kick here for Laverne. It's an onside kick, but unfortunately, Torrey Hilbert fielded it with the 9-yard incremental mark. It needed to go 10, but what a trick play there. They brought out 2 kickers. Chapman did not catch on to it, and you thought for a second this guy's going to run off sides. But he dips up and under, takes the kick, a little pooch kick. Torrey Hilbert fields it. Unfortunately, Laverne, it's got to go 10 yards. It goes 9. This ball could be going back Chapman's way.
And that's unfortunate. Hilbert.
Watch the replay here. What a moment for Laverne, saying, we're going to go trickery on you, Bob Owens. Hilbert fielding it barely short of that 10-yard mark. And now Bob Owens having a chat, and you're going to get the call here from the up ref.
And you saw right there was really
during the kick, an illegal block on the kicking team, number 30. That penalty is declined. Chapman has elected to take the ball at the spot of illegal touching, the 44-yard line. 1st and 10, Chapman.
Yeah, that illegal block, once that was hit, there was no one in the vicinity of the ball wearing a white jersey, and that allowed Hilbert to make that grab.
Chapman opts to keep the ball. And they'll stay on their 44-yard line, or rather Laverne's 44-yard line, so back in Laverne's zone. Connor Johnson manning the middle of the defense for Laverne here. Double tight end set for Chapman. And they're going to hand off here. And on the carry, it's Marcellus Hunter.
Hunter's a tough runner. He put his head down, his shoulder pads down, and plowed through that line to gain some decent yardage, gain a first down for Chapman.
6 on the play, 2nd and 4 for Chapman. 2:38 left here in the third quarter. Batista in the gun, hands it off again to Hunter. Hunter, good sidestep there through the hole. The flag coming from the back judge.
Isaiah Garrow, this is not a recording.
If this is illegal, hands in the face by Laverne. No, it's going to go against Chapman. They're going to back the ball up 10 yards.
Holding. Number 55, offense. 10-yard penalty, 2nd down.
Big break for Laverne. Now you put Chapman in a difficult situation. Now they're even farther away from a first down than where they were before.
What a backfield they got in both Hunter and Moody. Hunter there showing you he's got shifty work in his feet.
They are a powerful double-headed monster.
2nd and 13 coming for Chapman. Trips to the right of Batista. Batista here with the give to Hunter. Stood up. That's Connor Johnson in the middle of the defense for Laverne. Averaging more than 8 tackles a game. Connor Johnson, the vocal leader for the Laverne defense.
And that's the way you're going to take out Hunter and Moody in this game. You don't want to go for their upper body. They're way too strong. You got to attack them at their legs. Grab them by those ankles and bring them down. Huge 3rd down coming up here for the Laverne defense.
3rd and 13. Long 3rd down attempt coming for Chapman. They go back to the underneath screen. Isabel. He breaks free. A long play. He's off and running. Touchdown, Isabel. What a play call from Bob Owens. Instead of going over to the strong side and what you thought was going to be the screen to the running back, they come back to the weak side of the field, and it's an undercut of a screen route from the receiver and Isabel, and he's off to the races.
The way that whole play was set up, it looked as if Laverne had sniffed it out. It looked like they put Batista under pressure. Batista was calm, cool, collected, just dumped it off to Isabel, and a great job by Isabel to get into the end zone.
Isabel, he's a guy, once he reaches the 2nd level, he's got breakaway speed, and that's all Chapman needs. Another one up and good on the point after. Chapman back to a 16-point lead on the play of Jacob Isabel. They strike quick. Chapman up by 16 with $1:20 left here in the 3rd. Here's a replay here. So you see
a lot of missed tackles right there, and Isabel was just able to sniff out the end zone. He's fast, he's very agile, able to work around those Laverne defenders.
It was Isabel who, right about the 1st down marker, had a shot to be tackled, but too many Leopards falling on the ground, missed tackles, and good blocks downfield is how it pays dividends for Chapman.
It's still surprising from my vantage point. I didn't even see Isabel sneak around. The way he was able to run that route and grab that ball was an ingenious play call by Chapman.
Back to receive Dejon Logan alongside of James Gonzalez. Logan gonna receive here. See if we get a return. We will. Logan cuts it back. He's got daylight. Dejon Logan working his way out past the 40-yard line for the Leopards, and a really nice return for Dejon Logan. You saw the Leopards return team setting up to the left side of the field, and it was the guy holding contain on the coverage team for Chapman that gave a bit too much of sideline to Logan, and he was off to the races.
2 good cuts by Logan allowed him to free himself and gain a great amount of yardage on that return. Now Laverne is in great field position at their own 40.
Laverne on their 40, trips to the right. No tight end set, a single receiver off to the left. They fake the handoff to Hernandez, and it's Josh Evans off to the right who moves his way forward for a 3-yard gain. 2nd and 7 for Laverne.
That was a great run by Josh Evans up the middle. Looked like a read option play. Decided to keep it. Was able to move up for a good amount of yards.
New personnel checking in for the Leopards. Still a 4 wide receiver set. No tight ends. Up on the line of scrimmage. Single back set. Evans drops back to pass. Quick strike. Brandon Long with the catch. First down for the Leopards after the 10-yard reception.
That was a quick snap, foot plant, and toss by Evans. He is very effective when he does that, and those receivers, they can break tackles. They can get themselves downfield.
Chapman ends up taking a timeout. 22 ticks left on the clock here in the 3rd quarter before Laverne. Couple of quick first downs. Chris, you got to like what you're seeing.
I do, and this game is still very much in reach for Laverne. They just got to score here, and they need to hold off that Chapman offense that has been so high octane in this quarter.
And this 6 minutes ago, there was a different tone to this game. We certainly thought that Laverne may not even muster up another touchdown. Nonetheless, they changed up the formula a bit, got back to running the ball. It opened up the field, and now it's allowed them to throw these quick dump passes, even these 5-yard hitches to pick up minimal yards. It's ultimately picking up first downs and moving the chains. So for Laverne here, a 16-point deficit, not looking like what a 16-point deficit looked like certainly 6 minutes ago.
Momentum is starting to shift to Laverne. Offensively, they could really benefit from a score on this drive.
Twins to both sides of the field for Evans. Evans, single running back in the backfield, another quick pass. Dumped off here on the reception, number 10, Grayson Klein. First time his name's been called today, and he'll take it by virtue of first down.
These quick passes, these quick routes, they ran that effectively on their very first drive that resulted in a touchdown. It looks like they're moving fast. They want to get this ball off.
An untalked about part of the game, though, for Josh Evans. 9 different receivers who have receptions today. Grayson Klein again, back-to-back plays. Give the guy a first down for Grayson Klein.
I like this. You keep doing these short routes. It opens up the running game. It allows the defense to respect that, move up, and then Laverne can try throwing it over the top like they did on that initial drive.
End of the 3rd quarter here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television, and K-West over in San Dimas. Your score, 31-15. The Leopards trail this one to the Chapman Panthers, but Laverne with a full steam ahead mentality. They're on the drive here, heading into Panthers territory. Ball on the 32, first down set to come Laverne's way. And Laverne really sharing the wealth on the offensive side of the ball now. More than 9 receivers now with receptions in today's game. It's showing you that Josh Evans really having confidence with anybody who's out on the field.
And that's a big part, because now that defense, they're not going to key in on one receiver. Now every guy, they know that everyone in Laverne can catch the ball. They know that Evans doesn't have that specific guy today. And so it makes it that much more difficult for that secondary to try and prevent a pass.
Jamie Valet, 1 reception for 37 yards to lead the Leopards in receiving today. Here, another handoff for Laverne, and again, going back to the run, 4 yards a pop. Late flag coming in, and this is going to be an unsportsmanlike penalty. Fortunately, it might be going against the Leopards, and that's a tough spot for the Leopards. And if you're head coach Chris Creek, after you get positive yardage on a play.
Not sure what happened
Dead ball.
there.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on the offense, number 34. 15-yard penalty. The down counts. second down. That's number 34's first unsportsmanlike conduct foul of the game.
And that's a killer. I didn't really see what happened there in that pile, but I did see one of the Chapman players kind of jump out and land on his back. Maybe that's what happened. He might have sold it a bit to get that penalty, but that's still a killer for this Laverne offense.
Fernandez now off the field. Martin will check back in for the backfield after Fernandez gets called for the unsportsmanlike. Second and long for Laverne. And again, going to that short route, they pick up 5 more. Positive yardage, but an absolute killer in terms of penalties for Laverne here today. Penalties not their friend.
Now you're on a third and very long.
3rd and 17 for Laverne.
You really have no choice here but to pass it. But this is a big, big, big play for Laverne.
14 minutes left here in regulation. Evans dropping back to pass. Underneath route, fighting forward and getting back to close to the original line of scrimmage, but still 12 yards short is Laverne. Is this 4-down territory?
At this point, yes, it is the 4th quarter. You need to score to keep this game competitive.
Here's the pile here. And it looked like Fernandez just gave him a little kick with the foot while he's on the ground. Never know what goes on at the bottom of those piles. They say it's kind of like water polo with what goes underneath, down underneath the water. Nonetheless, Coach Creek not going to tolerate that. Team in a tough spot. Evans back to pass. Batted down at the line of scrimmage. And that is not an added benefit to a short-statured 5'10" Josh Evans game. So he gets batted down by the defensive line and a turnover on downs for Chapman.
The right defensive end for Chapman kind of stood up Laverne's offensive tackle and then kind of bullied him, pushed him back a bit, and then that put Evans in a difficult spot to try and make that throw. And a great job by Chapman's D-line for batting down that ball on a huge play. Because if he would have caught it, that looked like it would have been a first down.
An active day on the campus here at the University of Laverne. Alumni weekend for the men's basketball team. They just got done with their alumni game. Laverne women's volleyball, top 25 team in the country, on the road at Occidental today. But here out on Ortmeyer Stadium's field, the Leopards trying to battle from behind against a 3-0 Chapman team. 12:55 left in the game. A 1-yard carry after Moody moves the pile forward. And the Leopards in desperate need of a 3-and-out here. Chapman now running the play clock all the way down to 0 on every play. Again, another handoff to Moody, fighting through the first line of defense and getting to the second level. And now it's going to be 3rd and short. Third and 3 for the Leopards.
Moody running off the center, losing his shoe in the process, but still able to power through and gain some positive yardage there. And now here comes Hunter.
Wouldn't even call Hunter a change of pace back, but a great complimentary back, if anything. Marcellus Hunter in the game. They hand it off to him. He needs 3. Fighting forward. And they're going to pick up the first. And that's a tough play for the Leopards.
Hunter able to run up the middle, had a pretty nice hole, and a few missed tackles by Laverne gave him that necessary yardage for the first.
Hunter comes in, picks up the first down. He stays in the game. Another handoff to Hunter. Moving the pile forward. Another 2 yards for Hunter. 2nd and 8 for Chapman.
Chapman trying to put their foot on the throat, I guess is the metaphor to use. Trying to kill this clock, trying to leave with a W.
11 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. The Leopards do trail 31-15. Here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television, in the gun. Batista, play action fake, throwing it back across the field. Big strike downfield in Laverne, falling into a tough hole here. It's Kayvon Amenzaida with the big reception downfield, and Chapman back down in Laverne territory.
Amenzaida, who had a big catch for a touchdown earlier, was able to basically out-sprint the Laverne defender and make a nice grab for a huge gain for Chapman.
Good play action called there, and a good job for Batista to let the play develop. He finds the drag route at about 15 yards. Well down the field, hits the receiver in stride, and Chapman now can really try and walk this game till the very end. Moody, another carry up the middle, picks up a couple of yards. Second and long.
Powerful run up the middle, kept both arms on the ball as Laverne defenders were trying to strip that ball out, hoping to get some sort of turnover. Chapman slowly but surely working their way to the end zone to basically put in that proverbial dagger.
Second and 4 for Chapman. Ball's on the 22 of Laverne. They offset the protection to the left. They got double tight end. Again, they hand off to Moody. Good penetration by Laverne, and they're going to make it to third and short.
They're working that play clock, staying patient, watching the coaches make some changes on the sidelines, basically using up all the time that they can to try and kill that clock.
Laverne still has 3 timeouts. Chapman has 2. Third and 2 right now, ball on the 20. 9 minutes left here in the fourth quarter. Laverne trails by 16. Batista, multiple tight ends. Got him figured this is going to Moody. It is. They hand off to Moody. A good stop by Laverne. And this is going to move to fourth down.
Big stop right there to force a fourth down. Now you got to wonder, is Chapman going to try and go for 3, or are they going to try and go for that first down?
I think they're going to come out and measure with the chains here. I do believe this is short, and if I know Bob Owens' mentality, he's going to try and go for it here.
Like I said, they really have nothing to lose. They're up by 2 scores. Up by 3 scores, actually. Why not try and get the first down and try and kill that clock some more?
Ball is short, players are signaling. So at this point, decision time if you're Chapman. 2 trains of thought here. You rely on your defense and Laverne's lack of ability to move the ball today. Or you say, let's go for it right now. And if you do convert, you're looking at a close to a first and goal situation. And then you could really put this game out of reach. They're going to go for it.
Big play right here.
Look for Laverne to stack the box here. But do not dismiss a play action rollout here.
Timeout. Chapman. Their second charge timeout.
We've seen big plays like this where Chapman has utilized the unexpected player in the matter. Most recently, their fullback. Laverne here, you know they're going to stack the box. They're probably going to get single receiver coverage, maybe with Torrey Hilbert out on Isabel. So you're going to have 10 guys in the box to try and stop the run. But if you're a defensive end, you do not let a guy break free for an easy first down or a touchdown.
When you run the ball as effectively as Chapman has today, you open up a number of opportunities in a goal line situation. He could roll out, quarterback sneak, he could hand it off. He could even try a little fade route to the tight end. There's a number of options for Chapman right now, and Laverne's going to have to try and snuff out every option.
Torrey Hilbert going to go solo coverage out on Jacob Isabel. 10 guys in the box for Laverne. 2 tight ends for Chapman. Pro-style formation. They got the lead fullback. They motion a tight end to the right now. And they go QB sneak, and Laverne gets in the backfield. They stop him on 4th down. And that is a huge turnover on downs for Laverne. And with 8:31 left, Laverne got in the shot.
That was a great job by that defensive line to penetrate. All you saw once the ball was snapped were green jerseys surrounding Batista. A great defensive stop by Laverne.
Look on the replay here, and a really bold move to go with QB sneak with 2 to go, with 1 to go, or maybe inches to go fair.
And they immediately plugged up the hole that Batista was going for. They clogged up that line and forced Batista to try and find another way around, but overall, an excellent job by that Laverne defense.
Truly surprised that Chapman didn't opt to go on 2 maybe there to try and draw him off to pick up an easy first downs on an offsides call. Nonetheless, Laverne on this coming back after a big first down scramble. Josh Evans comes to feet, looks back, sees the flag, and immediately knows it's coming back.
And that's unfortunate. That was a huge gain by Evans. Penalties have been one of the big stories for Verne all game.
Number 58, offense. Half the distance to the goal. First down.
Half the distance to the goal after what would have been a first down pickup for Laverne. Those have been the plays that have killed Laverne all day long today. Remains true after they got 10 penalties now of over 60 yards. Josh Evans, a quick play out to the right on the pass. The clock ticking below 8 minutes now. Laverne, 3 timeouts left. They trailed by 16. But backed well up into their own zone.
Quick screen pass to the wide receiver, hoping he could beat a defender to get through and gain some yardage. Great job by Chapman, by the Chapman corner to beat the defender, beat the blocker, and get to the receiver and prevent him from getting any sort of real positive yardage.
Defenseman breaks free, but Josh Evans able to scurry away on what would have been a tough sack for Laverne to take. Evans throws it away. And now for Laverne, you're looking at 3rd and very long.
That's a difficult pass for Evans to make. Rolling to his left, trying to hit the receiver.
Tries to get the receiver downfield, and there was a defenseman coming off the edge on the weak side who went unblocked at Evans. Evans makes a miss. Evans moves the pocket here, throws downfield and throws it out of bounds. No time for Evans to throw.
He's a little more accurate when he rolls to his right, being a right-handed passer. But he just kind of threw it over his receiver's head, kind of had to throw it away with very little time. This Chapman defense is coming at him, trying to do what they can to make Evans uncomfortable and force him to make a bad throw.
Evans throws it away, 7:25 on the clock. Laverne still trails 31-15. Boucher to kick here. Boucher, good kick. This one bounces back in the Laverne zone. Takes a Laverne bounce. I'm gonna say the ball was touched inside the 49-yard line.
Yeah,
Laverne side of the field.
Yeah, it was basically hit by one of the Laverne defenders. Hit it forward. Hoping the refs didn't see that one, but They caught it.
Chapman now can really control the game with 7:15 left. They're up by 16. Laverne, even after a big 4th down call, getting a stop. Looks like a Laverne player had somebody roll up on his ankle there. You could see that with the naked eye.
Official timeout for a defensive injury.
Yards on the play. Injured Leo is number 95, Cameron Graham.
So Cameron Graham goes to the ground. And it was after the pile had got pushed back into the backfield of Chapman. I think Graham thought the play had ended. He had his attention tuned elsewhere. And they roll up on his ankle. He's going to walk off on his own power. He's probably going to be all right, but a scary moment.
The defense definitely kept pushing back to the point where everyone tumbled, and you had almost 3 guys there run over Graham's leg. But it's great to see that he's okay and walking off the field in his own power.
Laverne needing some help from that D-line. Austin Brown anchoring down the middle of it for Laverne. Ricky Batista working with 6:45 left on the clock. He hands it off to Hunter, who breaks free. Breaks a couple tackles. And now everybody getting into it for Chapman.
Nice run to the right by Hunter. The defensive line even adjusted to the side they knew that Hunter was going to run, and Hunter was still able to avoid tacklers and gain that amount of yardage.
Good blocking by the offensive line allows Hunter to get to the second level. If you're Bob Owens, you got to like your odds with Hunter against a linebacker in open space. Shifty back has people missing. Picking up extra yardage, and the clock now ticking under 6 minutes here after this play. Minimal yardage picked up.
Chapman just basically pounding away, using ground and pound at this point to run out that clock and leave here with the win. There's not much you can do when Chapman is running the ball that effectively. They're basically controlling everything at this point.
2nd and 8, 5:30 to go. Leopards trail by 16, but time is not their friend at this point. Hunter again making somebody miss at the first line of defense. Fights forward for a yard or 2. 3rd and 6 coming for Chapman.
Another nice little run there, a little power run there by Chapman to pick up a couple yards. But like I said, they're basically killing this clock. We got 15 seconds left on the play clock. They're taking advantage of this clock.
Play clock almost ticks all the way down for 0. Moody back in, and Moody sees daylight. Moody sees a touchdown for Chapman.
And there's the dagger. Joe Moody runs to the left. He powers through. Once he gets that second level, he's very difficult to tackle, and it's just a run to the races there for him at the end.
Tough moment for Laverne. You get a couple of big stops to get him to a 3rd and long situation, and you can't capitalize on what you do is you give up a 35-yard run. Nearly blocked by Torrey Hilbert coming off the edge. But a lead extended now to 23 points for Chapman. Your replay here, Moody finding daylight on the left side. and working his way into the end zone for the second time today. Joe Moody, so quick on that first step, and he's gone.
Once he got past that line, there was no one there to stop him, no one there to slow him down or take him down, and it was just an easy waltz into the end zone.
Chapman now up at 490 yards of total offense. Laverne 235. Both teams in essence at status quo, but for Laverne, against a team that's 3-0 who's riding the hot hand of their quarterback. Turnovers were needed today, and you saw moments of brilliance in the first quarter of a couple of fumbles that were forced, none which were recovered by the Leopards. But the Leopards have simply been unable to capitalize on the big turnover today.
You got to give Chapman a lot of credit today. They were able to make those halftime adjustments, and they came out on fire. They came out scoring at a very high rate, capitalizing on a lot of Laverne penalties, able to make those big plays. Joe Moody was very, very critical with a lot of those big runs. They did a terrific job in the second half. It was near perfect.
New quarterback warming up on the sidelines. Looks like it will be Jake Sheedy who will be coming in on the next series for Chapman. Josh Evans still out on the field for the Leopards. Evans over to the left side. Finding some daylight is the receiver, and positive yardage on the play. Quick reception off the little man out there, Nathaniel Sagastoon.
Nice little pass there, nice positive yardage. Laverne trying to end this game on a good note with some more points on the board.
38-15 with 4 minutes left here in this one. The ball is on Laverne's 25. Evans moves forward for minimal yardage after he just falls forward the line of scrimmage. And the clock now under 3:55 to play.
That's been a big story during the second half. That Chapman defense has not allowed Evans to really run out of the pocket, to really make a lot of those quarterback runs.
Evans here, still in the shotgun. Looking at his receivers to the left, doesn't see it, moves to his right. Almost a scary moment for Evans. His leg was caught under him for a second. He was able to break it free.
That was a great job by the Chapman defense. There was no one open downfield. Evans stayed in the pocket, looked left, looked right, made his reads, had no one to dump it off to, had no choice but to try and run it.
3rd and 9 now. Evans, play action fake, throwing it downfield, finding the soft spot in the defense. First down for Evans and the Leopards.
Great job. Evans stayed back there in the pocket, planted his feet, was able to make a nice throw in the zone in between two defenders for a nice big gain.
Fortunately for Evans and the Leopards, could be too little too late, but good momentum moving into the next game at the very least. Evans with the shovel pass downfield. Again, for 3 straight targets, it's Nathaniel Sagastoon.
What a pass. That was just a powerful pitch right there. That pass had some height and everything.
Pure athleticism off the hands of Josh Evans there. Laverne opting to take a timeout. So this clock trickles down to 2:31 left. Or rather, Chapman takes their 3rd and final timeout. Laverne, 272 yards total offense here today. Evans, 203 yards passing, a touchdown, no interceptions.
You know, you got to give Laverne a lot of credit today. Despite what the scoreboard looks like, that first half, they played very well, and they may have even set up a blueprint on how to really frustrate and beat Chapman with the way they played in that first half.
Most certainly something to look forward to come next week for Laverne.
They have a lot to build on after this game. Coming off of the bye, I guess you could say the bye week with Occidental having to forfeit. They were able to get guys healthy. They were able to come out here, played a very, very strong first half. But you got to give credit to Chapman making those adjustments, and they took that offense and went full speed ahead.
Got to be happy if you're head coach of the Leopards, battling through some adversity on the defensive side of the ball. No Alex Olivas, one of your top tacklers, and no Darren Hooks. The Laverne defensive back stepping up to the occasion today. Fortunately, Ricky Batista getting the best of them. Evans scrambling. Flag. On Chapman's side of the ball, we'll see which way this falls. As Evans scrambles for field. We look what these two teams did against Redlands. You're coming off a week last week where Chapman at home is able to take down Redlands 48-20.
Offside. Number 37, defense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
Rather 45-26 at home. Chapman takes down Redlands. It was 2 weeks ago, Laverne's last conference game. They were on the road at Redlands, a loss of 48-14. Laverne certainly playing better than probably what some expected today. Even coming in with a loss, this one shoveled away out of bounds. It's going to be intentional grounding. No, they're going to say he vacated the pocket. So, Chris, people were to ask, Josh Evans is down here.
Oh, that's a horrible injury, especially basically during garbage time of the game to lose your starting quarterback.
Evans was being pressured there. He went to the shovel pass out of bounds. Tough to see what could have happened to Evans. You've got to imagine a guy that has a history of concussions. Hopefully it is not that. His helmet is off, but Evans does come to his feet now.
That's the risk any quarterback takes when they go on the run outside of the pocket. We saw what happened to Aaron Rodgers last week in the NFL. When you're running and you're off balance and you get hit and drilled to the ground, it can be very unfortunate, especially for a quarterback, someone on the playing field that's not usually used to being hit.
And just to add insult to injury, even after that, now you're looking at a penalty flag for intentional grounding.
It runs to the outside, pitches it outside to try and get the incompletion.
New quarterback in for the Leopards, Matt Simcoe in. Passes on his first play, and nearly the first interception of the game to be thrown. Matt Simcoe, a local product going transfer from Claremont High School down to Chino Hills High School. Simcoe here now. He's the backup quarterback to Josh Evans. A well-statured guy. This pass downfield nearly hauled in by a defensive back.
Safeties were following his body language, watching where he was looking, and jumped on the ball when they saw the direction he was thrown.
Simcoe stands 6'3", 210. Again to pass. Pass to Russell Boucher. Down into Chapman territory. Completion. Simcoe moving the pile for the Leopards.
Simcoe with that Brock Osweiler type of body. He's so tall, he can look over anyone and make the nice throws.
It's a guy who stands out on the field in terms of stature. And he's going to run it here. Simcoe back the other way, trying to bowl over a defensive back. Good to see the fight out of a quarterback.
Looking like Cam Newton out there, that size and speed. You got a guy that size, when you run into him, that's like hitting a train.
It's neither here nor there. You look at a guy like Simcoe out there, stands at 6'3", 210. You think about a guy who maybe for some obvious reasons is getting some scrutiny this year, but a guy that I feel really playing up to par for the USC Trojans. You look at Sam Darnold this year, a guy that stands at 6'4", 230. You look at what Simcoe looks like out on this field. 6'40", 230, a house. Huge game tonight, though. USC on the road at Notre Dame. USC, a 3.5-point dog.
Go Irish.
Got to be careful what you say here in Southern California. Trojans fans going to be tuning in tonight. That a 4:30 start. Luckily for those of you tuning in, you don't have to peel away from here before that game even starts. Simcoe will walk back out onto the field. Leopards do trail 38-15, $1:45 left for the Leopards. Maybe too little too late, but trying to look for some points up on the board as they head into next week. Simcoe back to pass, throws it to the back of the end zone. What a catch by Russell Boucher. They're going to say he bobbled it. He went up with one hand. I'm not even sure how this guy came down with the ball in his vicinity.
Offside, number 37, defense. After this is the goal.
Second down.
Free play for the Leopards. It was offsides, but almost an acrobatic catch by that of Russell Boucher.
That was a great job by Boucher. He got up there, extended that arm, was able to pull it in, but I guess the ref saw he was out of bounds or bobbled it.
Matt Simcoe still at the helm for the Leopards. They got a first, or rather second down, ball on the one. Simcoe with the design QB run, touchdown for Simcoe and the Leopards.
Nice play call, nice decision by Simcoe. Running in there, using that big frame of his and those long arms to extend the ball over the goal line for 6.
For Matt Simcoe in his sophomore campaign. Exciting moment for him as he finds his way into the end zone. Per our records, his first collegiate touchdown. Simcoe here going for 2. This one tipped away by Chapman defense. 21-38 your score. The Leopards still a 3-possession game away with $1:35 left. Chapman smelling victory, but a bright spot for Laverne as they head into next week. It'll be their homecoming week at home. A 5 o'clock game. LVTV 3 will have the call, and they're going to be at home against a cross-city rival in CMS. CMS, a different animal. Coming into today, CMS was 2-1 on the season. CMS having the added benefit of a win against Occidental. So Laverne going to have to deal with a different animal next week, but Laverne on a homecoming weekend, it's going to be, rest assured, a good time for those of you who do decide to come out. Plenty of activities to go around for everybody. But Laverne here, now time to rebound. If you do, in fact, not come back with Josh Evans, you saw some promising things in that of Matt Simcoe and his ability to get under center and throw the ball.
Well, it was a small sample size, but I think especially when Laverne tries to utilize those quarterback design runs, Simcoe has that size, that frame where he could become a lot tougher to tackle. Granted, Evans does have the speed, but it looks like Simcoe has more of the power. And he's tall, and he can definitely look over defenders to try and make accurate passes.
It's the second time today that Diego Garcia has come in for a pooch kick that nearly got received for an onside kick, and then here he comes in another onside kick situation, this time trying to go end over end. He gets the ball to pop up. Good job by the coverage team, the hands team of Chapman to come down with that. But not a bad fill-in job there for Diego Garcia. Laverne defense back out on the field. New quarterback in. This is number 16, Jake Sheedy for Chapman. And most likely, Sheedy going to be handing the ball off rather. Timeout taken by Laverne as they stop the clock.
Timeout. Laverne. Their second charge timeout of the half.
Laverne's going to try and make Chapman go 3 and out and get the ball and have another shot at the end zone before the game's over.
I think if you're Laverne, you're not expecting, nonetheless, a win. Trying to recover a 17-point deficit with $1:27 left. but trying to develop some confidence as you head into next week games, most certainly.
And confidence is key, especially after a game like this. They fought hard. They just couldn't really stop that Chapman offense in this second half. They went off, especially in the early minutes of that third quarter. Before you blink, they were up 2 scores.
So Laverne, after today, will fall to 1-2 in conference. They will, in fact, fall to 2-3 overall on the season. 3 games left next week at home against CMS. A road game at Pomona Pitzer, just a few miles away from here, and they'll finish the season off at home against Whittier. So 2 formidable opponents still to play. Dogfight going on the ground.
Nice run up the middle. Laverne just has to bring him down. They wasted about 5 seconds on the clock just trying to bring down the Chapman running back.
Chapman here going to be looking at 3rd and long. For Chapman, another bright spot for them. You looked at Ricky Batista. In his last 3 games, he's thrown for 916 yards, 10 touchdowns, no interceptions. Comes here today, racks up a few more touchdowns, no turnovers. So Batista playing the best game of his career in this 4-game stretch, and he's had the added benefit of having a guy like Joe Moody on his side. Moody, who's had 356 yards and 2 touchdowns in the past 3 games, added another 150 today with a couple of touchdowns.
And he's been able to capitalize on a lot of Laverne's mistakes, primarily with penalties, using a lot of those offsides as free plays.
3rd and long here for Chapman. Laverne going to stand him up. So a punt will be coming from Chapman. Chapman can now look ahead. Next Saturday, they'll have a home game against Cal Lutheran, team that Laverne beat on this home field of Laverne a couple of weeks ago to start conference play. They will then have another home game against CMS and finish what would have been on the road at Occidental. That game no longer. So Chapman, they control their own destiny. They're going to be a 4-0 team now in conference. This is a team that could have a bid now with a conference championship to go to the pool of 64.
And with number 4 playing the way that he has, Chapman stands a very great chance.
Number 98, offense.
Rather not a pool of 64 in D3 college football. It will be a pool of 32 come the postseason. Laverne had the great benefit of going up to play St. Thomas in Minnesota 2 years ago when they brought home their first conference title since '93. That team led by Travis Sparks Jackson, the all-time rushing leader here at the University of Laverne. And if insult to injury is not a thing, let it become one. Laverne, a roughing the kicker penalty. We'll see if it's rather roughing or touching. Could be either a 5-yard or a 15-yard. If it's only a 5-yard penalty, you might see Bob Owens just wave this thing off.
Well, that has basically been the story of the game for Laverne. Penalties in big moments.
Running into the kicker.
Running into the kicker. It'll be a 5-yard
The
penalty.
defense. 5-yard penalty. 4th down.
Got to anticipate Bob Owens at this point will just take the clean kick and just wave this thing off, and he is going to. So Laverne going to get back on the field now. 19 seconds left.
I say take some shots downfield. See what you have out of Simcoe's arm.
Actually, they're going to run their offense back out on the field. You're going to see a kneel here. 19 seconds left. So this game will be put to rest. So we talked a bit about Cal Lutheran next week for Chapman. Chapman will move to 4-0. They'll move to 4-2 overall in the season. 2 preseason losses for this Chapman team. Actually, they won't go to a kneel. They'll run the ball. Now the clock will twinkle down to 0. After the first down. So that will be game. Bob Owens now over 70 victories on his 12-year career. A man who's seen experience at the Pac-12 level. And against his alma mater, Bob Owens taking home another victory. And for head coach Chris Creek, his team will fall to 1-2 on the season. Chris, as we wrap this thing up, what does Laverne need to do come practice this week to put themselves in a better way come next week against CMS?
I think that the biggest thing they have to do is discipline, trying to avoid those penalties. I think they have a great thing when they can get Evans to plant his feet, to stand in the pocket and make some good throws. They need to work on that, a little more diversity in that play calling as far as that goes. The defense did well. Those penalties killed them and put them in difficult situations. But,
talk about penalties, Chris. 12 penalties, 73 yards.
And that hurts, especially when you had a pass interference in the end zone, when just so many things that went negative for the Laverne defense in the second half.
A lot of things negative, but some bright spots for Laverne. You look to Josh Evans, a guy who's not really a pocket passer today, found his rhythm when he was in the pocket, threw for 219 with a touchdown today, and they got the running attack going come the second half. It was too little too late to implement that. Fernandez, 57 yards and a touchdown, had a tough personal foul call on him. We won't harp there, but you turn your heads to the other side of the ball. Ricky Batista, this guy, 274, 3 touches. What do you think of him?
He played outstanding. There was a few occasions where he looked frustrated in the first half, but the second half he took advantage, like I said, of those offside penalties, used them as free plays, and was able to capitalize on that. And it also helped that he had Joe Moody, who made some huge plays on the ground.
Joe Moody, $166, 2 TDs, and Jacob Isabel, 171 yards and 1 TD. Laverne, they fall at home 38-21, and they set their sights ahead to next week, a 5 o'clock game on homecoming weekend at home against CMS. It's been fun. It's been real. It's been Hal Hargrave alongside of Christopher Livingston here on LVTV3, Laverne Community Television. We set our sights ahead to next week, and we'll hope you join us in the booth. But until next time, we say thank you and good night.